We are live to the 10th annual holiday show. Oh, and we've done this 10 times. There you are, down in the set on the
there
left
you are.
square.
Hello.
Yeah.
10 times. We should
yes.
really next time I'm going to have one of those giant chairs and a fireplace behind me, and I'll just be like, oh, close the book. Hello.
So let's think about this. When we did our first holiday show, I was 37. And how old were you?
25.
I think Lucas was still in grade school.
I think Lucas wasn't here.
I was a fetus.
I think Lucas was he wasn't even in school yet at this point. I mean, yeah.
Dear, oh dear. All right. So I'm drinking on some
Riley looked
here.
exactly the same as he did 10 years ago. He has not changed at all. He has just gotten louder. So
Rob's like me. We just change our looks by cutting our hair. We just, cut our
not,
hair long or grow it long or whatever.
Rob every once in a while would just whip off his hat and just be like, toss his mane of hair and be like, and we're going up that mountain. I'd be like, the fuck you say? So yeah.
Yeah. So first I wanted to apologize to the listeners for missing 2 weeks of MPR. That's a first, but I pretty much almost died a few times.
I am
alive.
Yeah, I may have laid it on thick when people were messaging me. They're like, "Is Eric okay? You said he was dead," and I'm like, "Yeah, it was a mistake."
Yeah.
Yes, he's alive as far as I know.
So just to give people an update, I had COVID, then I had an upper respiratory infection, then I had a sinus infection. And all through those two last ones, I had the after COVID, long COVID, where you don't want to do anything, can't do anything. Yeah. But here I am. I'm still standing. You can't kill the Hobbit.
Yeah. I mean, they've got those little tiny Hobbit lungs, too, that are affected greatly by things. So,
that's right.
Yeah.
They only go like this. You know what I mean? It's like squeak, 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 yeah. Squeak, squeak.
It's like having two squeaky toys in them, yeah.
Yes. So this is our last show of 2021, which is crazy. And we're going to be taking the next couple of weeks off, so everybody knows. I guess if you're new to the podcast, then we don't podcast at the end of the year. Yes, I already had 2 weeks off, but I'm taking another 2 weeks off. I guess sometimes
power has gone to his head, ladies and gentlemen. Right. He's like, I'm in charge of this network, and I will do what I wish, and I'm just strapped and along for the ride.
So a tradition that we started way back in the beginning was to sort of have just a fun end of the year show where we have people stopping in and no, I cannot smell snake shit. I can't.
We've all gone nose blind.
It's actually it's actually quite nice.
Wait, really? You
be honest with you. No, I can't smell.
No, but the danger is that now if a snake doesn't eat, he has to wait for his wife to tell him what's going on downstairs. And that is the fastest way to get in a lot of trouble.
That did happen.
I know.
And I was like, nothing smells. What are you talking about? She's like, I'm telling you, it smells like something died. I'm like,
I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about. So basically what we're going to do is, have a Festivus for the rest of us. And we're going to have an airing of grievances. And we have some special guests lined up that are going to be popping throughout the show and airing their grievances.
Yeah.
And
I got a lot of problems with you people. And tonight you're going to hear about it.
We got some stats. We're going to talk about the highest rated shows of NPR for 2021, the podcast that we added. And then I'm going to give some numbers of where they were all at. The new.
So everyone strap in. Everybody open up your pie chart, your charts. We're going to track, as you can see in this. It's been projecting well. It's just like staff meeting.
That's right. We got the year in review. So we just go over what we thought. Each one of us kind of have our own thoughts on that. We're going to go through that, and then we're going to talk about what we got planned for 2022, and should be a good time. We got some really cool guests that are going to be popping by. We got Nipper Reed that's going to be popping by. There you go.
Now
nice
you're
swirl.
Don't forget the intern advancement ceremony.
Yeah, we forgot about that.
You mean
we didn't tell you about that, Owen?
You mean where we draft down and nothing changes? Perfect. Excellent.
We got Matt Minatola is going to be stopping by at some point.
That's why I'm
Keith's
wearing
down there hiding out. I don't know if he wants to come in or not. If he puts his thumb up like this, then I'm going to put him in. If he doesn't, then he's just going to watch.
I see Matt. He can sign my shirt. That wonderful Minatola man. Yeah.
I see you rocking the Philly Herp.
Yeah.
Okay. I got my boy Mike is here. I got some announcement for him when we go through, and then so it should be a good time, and it's nothing but fun. So drink whatever you're. So what are you drinking, guys? I'm drinking Beck's. Riley?
Well,
he's drinking out of the skull of his enemies.
Oh my God!
Apparently, like that. Yes,
that is badass.
Is that a tusk?
I need those with an MPR logo.
That is so
ale
cool.
horn, a legit
An ale
longhorn horn.
Exactly. Done.
Well, as the child of the group, I decided to go classy. Got some Pinot Noir.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
look at this fancy guy. You would think he was an academic or something.
Courtesy of my father, the one and only Marcus Lee.
Justin is, of course, doing Sweet Lady DDP, which is what the only thing he can quit at any time. Anytime he can quit. Do you have any? Like it's.
All right, Sweet Lady DDP.
Sweet Lady DDP.
Oh, very good. All right,
Yep.
So we all know how it works. If
Voodoo Ranger's good.
I'll be super impressed if Lucas will pound that whole bottle. That'll be great. That'll
Do it.
get the heck out of this show. If you get through that in this show, that'll be great.
Lucas, get a straw.
Yeah, I was about to say, just get a crazy straw in the bottle. Go for it, buddy. You don't have any classes.
Yeah, that'll be
Well,
good.
Riley was the mark to beat for inebriation last year, so
100%. So it can be you this time. That'll be great.
Yeah.
Personally, I have the Lagunitas, and what about you, Owen? So I'm Lagunitas. What are you?
I am Bombshell hard cider. So it's a peach lemonade.
Very good.
Yeah.
If this is going to be a competition, don't make me go get the football helmet where I can put 2 beers in the top and drink them through a straw the whole time.
If anything, Riley, it's the last
That would be great.
passage for the interns. You did yours last year. Lucas now has to have some form of alcohol poisoning this year.
Nice. I like it. I'll stay coherent enough to enjoy it from afar.
We'll get some clicks out of that for sure.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
I had mine the year before where I had to. Luckily, we weren't a visual medium at the time, and I could hide the fact that I was vomiting profusely.
Yeah, you had your mute button game on point.
Yeah. They're like, "What do you think? Going unmute? I think this mute." Some of my best work was done that night.
Oh, that was so good, dude.
I knew I was in trouble.
I knew it before anybody else knew it too.
Well,
I could hear it.
I knew I was in trouble when Rob and Eric wouldn't stop moving, and I'm like, I'm stationary. That's not good.
We should have just inserted the Nick train whistle. Nick, your thoughts? Train whistle. Yeah, we should have just put that to Owen.
Okay.
I wanted to Justin Smith's in the chat, and I wanted to smoke a stogie, but I barely can breathe as it is, so I figured it was best
How'd Eric die? Well,
from stogies.
He finally was able to breathe again and decided the first thing he was going to do was smoke a cigar. Well, he died doing what he loved.
I don't know if my little hobbit lungs can do it. All right.
He died doing what he loved, struggling to breathe.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I have my wife on standby if all of a sudden she has to give me my nebulizer.
Chest compression.
Corey, get in here.
She runs in, stabs him with an EpiPen. That's not what's wrong with him.
Yeah. So I held off on that. I think it's probably a wise move because I probably would be paying for it later. But I think the first stat that I wanted to share is the 3 top highest rated shows of NPR. Take a guess. Do you guys have any guesses? Throw it out there.
Well, first I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it is that like? Come on, Owen.
All right, go ahead.
Do you mean like top show, as in like number of downloads overall, or
just of
episodes, or
in all of 2021?
What is it? Is it number of listens, or is it like thumbs up, 5 stars rating?
Listens.
No, number of listens. Yes.
Okay, I'm going Colubroid.
No.
No.
NPR.
Just NPR.
No. What?
Oh,
No.
I'm going.
Episodes of NPR.
What is he even doing here?
Stop kissing the preacher's ass and focus.
Shit. Ruffy natural history episode.
Yeah.
Nope.
Ooh.
What do you say, Riley?
The number one.
Yeah, I'm leaving Rob for last because he's the podcast connoisseur.
Rob knows.
I'm gonna guess it was the episode with Mike Stefani.
Okay.
I like that. I like where your head's at there, Riley. I don't know that that's gonna be right, but I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's not right, but yep, it's close. Owen,
I'm gonna take
co-host of Doom.
I would. Also, thank you. That is my official title.
Kimberly, Lord of the Kimberly.
Lord of the Kimberly. I was gonna go with Dr. Ross, but I think I'm gonna go with Ron St. Pierre, like Ryan said.
Oh, Owen, you're the closest.
Of course I am.
Still
I've
not
10
it.
years of practice.
Still not it. Come on, Rob, bring it home for me, buddy. Come on.
Oh, but he's probably got the stats.
No,
What's he looking at?
I do not.
He's looking at his. He's got a chart of all.
He just
the
has a
shows he
higher
did.
functioning brain.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my favorite shows and try. So Stefani is on
Same
there.
thing. Cool.
You're saying what was your hints there, Eric? Yeah. So let's go. So Riley said Stefani. That would have been in my guesses.
Right.
Lucas, did he even have a guess? Oh yeah, he said the Reptile.
Yeah, he was. It was so far off it didn't count.
I'm off to a good start this year.
Yeah.
And
That's a
Owen
strong
said.
line.
Owen said. Did
Owen
you
said
say
Ron.
Richard Ross or you said Ron St. Pierre?
I said Ron St. Pierre.
Can I?
So I think it's Richard Ross or Pete Kuhn.
No. No.
Is it
The number one.
Or it's Nick Mutton in August, and it's gonna. I'm just gonna.
And it's just. Was it just
Correct
Nick
you are,
hitting
sir.
like the entire time?
You think
got
Nick
real-
knows technology well enough to up his play count?
All right, good point. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he plays stupid, right? So the highest rated show of 2021 was Nick Mutton is Back.
Wow.
From his long hiatus of podcast where he thought we didn't want him on NPR anymore. But so
guess we
incorrect.
should-
He's
should
writing
we-
a book and I want it to be done. So get it done, damn it.
We should send him a certificate or something. Like, I mean, that'll make him happy. So it was.
Anybody want to take a shot at number 2? Lucas, if you don't know this, you're going to get banned to the corner for
Then
for
it's
a few.
Loafman then, because obviously.
Oh, yeah, snake digestion was that?
Yeah.
Correct.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
No, easy guess.
Now that's one that I have padded the play count.
Wait,
I've listened to that so many times.
Justin says the book's done. Where is it, Justin? I don't have it, Justin.
We got our good friend. Hold on. We're going to complete the set here. Oh, wait, he dropped. Wait, here we go.
Up.
As soon as he gives me the thumbs up, I'll add him in. That's you, Philly Herp.
It's you.
There he is.
Yay!
Matt Minatola.
Hey!
What's going on, guys?
What's up? What's up?
I don't know why I'm having so much trouble hearing you, so I don't know what that's about.
Because you're not wearing headphones.
Oh, that's probably it.
Yeah.
I guess pause me. I'll go. I don't know if I have headphones here. My headphones are in my work truck.
Damn it. Can you hear
Let me
us at
try to
all?
figure something out. Pause me. I'll go look around.
All right,
Hold on.
pause and
All right.
get him out of here.
There we go.
Just-
He's got to be able to steal a set from his kids, right?
Wait, what happened to Bob Rock? He
I
went
don't know.
green or something.
He doesn't let us. He doesn't want us to see him drink. But
Justin, the
says
reason
we
that
can-
you didn't become number one is because you didn't do a podcast with us in
Yeah,
2021.
you
So,
left
I
us
mean,
and you went to go play with Chuck.
you
over
went
there.
to play
Yeah.
with the, you're fighting in the clubs and stuff.
Yeah.
You wanted a peaceful
Very
love over
violent.
here of carpet
Yeah.
pythons
In the
over at
club.
NPR land.
Listen,
And,
I have always been a lover, not a fighter. As 10 years worth of podcast could show, I'm the calm one. So it's
yes.
Yeah,
That's an
that's what it would
adjective.
show. Exactly. Yeah,
That's
that's
an
what I think
adjective.
of when I think of Owen. Yeah.
Number 3 was Ron St. Pierre. Number
that
3 was Ron
close.
St. Pierre. Right.
So wait, my internet was being fussy there, Eric. What was number 2?
Snake Digestion with Dr. Zach Loafman.
Oh, very cool. So that actually does sort of fit into Lucas's guess. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
God.
Wow, Rob's good at the intern beatings. I love it.
Yeah.
Who let him
Easy to
in
do
here?
from behind a green
Yeah,
screen.
easy
Yeah.
to do when you're
Yeah, I don't
hiding
know what
behind a
happened to you,
green
Rob. You
screen.
might have to reset. You're all green. I know it's Christmas and all, but holy heck.
Yeah.
Well, that
Turning
sounds
into the
festive.
Grinch as we speak.
There you go.
Yeah, that's true.
Better.
Okay.
Insulting me. Universal
Well, hey,
punishment.
Eric, put me in the back and then pull it back because it looks fine on my end.
You're
No,
good.
you're
on-
good now.
No, we're good now.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever
Okay.
you did, you're good.
Whatever
Okay.
you did, don't do it. Yeah, don't touch it.
All right. Next thing I have. How many podcasts did we add? We added Colubrid and Colubroid Radio. We added Reptile Fight Club. We added the Australian Herpetoculture podcast. We added the Monitor Keeping podcast. We added the Field Herping podcast and Carpets and Coffee, all in 2021. Oh, wait.
This many.
Yes. 6.
6.
Speaking of the top, oh, wait.
Found
Dirk
some.
There you go.
Diggler over here is he disappeared for a minute. So when Dirt Diggler gives me the heads up, I'll put him in here.
Dirt Diggler?
Yeah, because we were just talking about Dirt Diggler. He's coming on. You ready?
Okay.
Dirt Diggler has some grievances.
Merry Christmas.
So Nick, we were just discussing how your show, Nick Mutton is Back, is
Was
number
the
one
Number one show
of
this year.
NPR.
Yeah. So I
Very
told
cool.
you guys you'd have me on more often.
Mm.
Also, for the record, I didn't realize that Dirk Diggler was going to literally show up on the screen.
Can't take it back now.
Nor
Yeah,
nor did I
too
know
late.
that there was a video component to this either. I was
Too late on that as well.
Too late.
woefully underprepared. So,
Right.
yay,
Well, you look
yay
great.
for professionalism on my part.
Yeah.
No worries.
Doing well. It's going well.
If you get the joke, then you're pretty cool, probably.
So we got Nick Mutton here, and he wants to air some grievances. So we're going to go right into airing some
Yeah.
grievances.
Go ahead.
and,
I got a lot of grievances with you people.
Yes. Yeah. So here we go. The one
All
and
right.
only. Go for it.
First thing, stop making unboxing videos. Why are you doing that? That is, I do not understand this, and maybe I'm just a curmudgeonly old man. I don't know, but it's basically the herpetological equivalent of taking a picture of your food you're going to eat or something. You're basically saying, "Look at what! Don't you wish you had what I'm having? Like you're not. Look what you're not getting." It's like, what is the point of this? It's always unboxing. Just stop it. Just stop. Also, another grievance. Why is Reptile YouTube so terrible? It's so unbelievably, unfathomably, and unimaginably awful. It is an embarrassment. Why is it? Nope. It's awful. Why is it so terrible?
Damn, we're trying to make it better, Nick.
Agreement.
I don't know.
well.
It's like, it is
Something tells me he's not watching your stuff,
It
Eric.
is
Well,
a
you have to
wretched
say
hive of
except
scum and
for
villainy.
this channel.
It is. I'm saying I'm not talking about you so much as some other
I know what you're talking
offenders.
about.
You can probably imagine what I'm talking about. It's like
Mhm.
there's so much just trivial fluff and clickbait, and there's so precious little anything that matters. It's kind of, I don't know.
You don't learn anything.
Yeah.
You don't learn anything. You don't. I actually, literally, in the last 2 days, I actually watched a couple of these videos for the first time ever, and I was just aghast at how terrible. It's just like mindless, like just it's madness. It's like
Is that your
this is why no
excuse
one
for-
takes it seriously. the
Is
hobby.
that your excuse for unprofessionalism tonight? You got sucked by the the
I
YouTube
know, right? Like,
vortex kind of pulled you in.
Yeah.
we need to up
All
the
right.
quality of our of things, and maybe you're trying to do that. So that's good. That's a noble effort. Because Reptile YouTube can use all the help it can get.
Agreed.
Yeah.
It is just it's terrible. So I don't want to take up all you guys' time. I'm sure you guys have plenty of your own grievances, and other people have grievances.
I
too.
have a list.
You
Yeah.
have a list.
I've been making it all year. So
Yeah. I have other things too, but I don't want to be that angry old guy who just rants about stuff.
that's the whole point of this show.
Just one
think
more
I-
rant,
I
Nick.
think
Come
I
on,
am
bring
that
it, bring
guy.
it home, Nick. I know there's
Yeah.
got to be something that's really irked
Give
your
us
gears.
one
this
last
year.
really
One
good
last
one.
thing.
Yeah.
One last thing.
Yeah.
Stop cutting the tops of your eggs off.
Yes.
Stop doing it. Stop it. Stop it. It's like this is the herpetological equivalent of the kids who freaking rip the packaging open on their Christmas present and see what they got. It doesn't change. It doesn't change what's in the present. It's like cutting the top of your eggs off with a butter knife or whatever and scooping the snake out with a spoon doesn't change what morph you hit. It just means you're probably fucking up the snake. It'll
Right,
still
Nick.
be
The fun
same
part is
snake.
that you could actually kill the present by doing it. That's the fun part.
It'll still be the same thing in
Russian
2 days
roulette.
when it comes out naturally, and probably it might be less stressed and do better. So just stop doing that. Like, what is how have we normalized that, Jay Brewer? I'm looking at you. Like, how has that become like a normal thing? Like, I'll take a straight razor blade and saw the top of this egg off and get my soup spoon out and scoop this retic. Like, what? How is that normal? Like, how is that possibly a good thing? Like,
That was my favorite. Was like my bow is.
I don't
my
get
bow
it.
is overdue. When
should I cut her open?
Yeah, when do I cut? Like, no,
I cut my eggs too. Like, I'm not like, I don't like cut the top off of them and play.
Yeah, there's a difference between manual pipping and finger fucking.
A 1 inch
them out.
straight line slit. The most minimal thing I can do. I don't look inside the egg. I don't mess with them. They'll come out. And cutting the whole top off just, I don't get it.
No good. No good.
Again, is it just something we're doing for, look at me, look at what I'm doing. Look at this crappy video on YouTube of me chopping the top of these eggs off. Like, why is that what it is? Is it? Has our society and our hobby become so narcissistic that every single aspect of it we need to use for drum up publicity for people to pay attention to us? Even the mundane things. Like, I swear some of this stuff, like an unboxing video is like, that'd be like me making a video of me unpacking the groceries that I just went and got. Like, it's like, you want to watch me put my groceries away? Like, who cares? It's groceries. Who cares? We all do this. Like, I don't.
Yeah, and then they do it in their snake room.
Yeah.
And bitch about.
Why is this an entertainment thing now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna box up my eggs this year and then do like an unboxing with an egg slicing. It'll be the biggest thing on YouTube ever.
You're gonna tie it all.
You need a thumbnail of you getting bit though too.
Yeah, like a retic coming at me. It's like, I wonder
the egg biting you.
Yeah,
the egg has to be biting you.
Snake coming out of the egg. Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah,
that'll totally do it.
Eric, take a note. Actually, Nick unboxing his grocery order based on how well he does with the pod listings. Maybe we should look into that.
No, yeah. He's hot right now. Let's take his thing and write that's a good note.
You ride the hot hand in baseball. If it's hot, you ride it.
All those
trying to make the most
so,
trivial and mundane aspects of this seem exciting, like opening a cardboard box. Like, that's not entertainment.
Right.
Like, I spent the entire day today scraping snake poop off of tubs and cages with a Bondo spreader. It's like, is that entertainment? Should I like film that? Like,
Film that.
Sure. You don't know till you try it.
Yeah.
Poop scraping. Like, it's not all glamorous.
Extreme poop scraping, and then have the scooper, like the scraper biting him, and then you're good. Yeah.
Very good. Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Thanks, Dirk.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, just so everybody knows, tune in tomorrow because on Carpets and Coffee, we got Nick coming and hanging out with us.
I got to jump off now. I got a bunch of stuff to do. I got to finish writing this book. So.
All right.
Yeah. Have fun with that.
I think we can be done with the writing by the end of the weekend. I think it'll be 100% in the can. So that'll be.
Justin's in the chat. He said that's a lie.
Oh, okay.
I got about half a page to write. Half a page, and that's it. And,
all right. Cool.
All right.
All right. We'll get to writing, Nick.
Yep. Looking forward to it.
All right.
All right. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
Thanks,
See
Nick.
See you later.
There we go. All right. Now we
Matt,
got
will you sign my shirt the next time I see you?
It's not a problem. You're the best dressed dude
Thank you.
tonight. That's surprising. So.
It is surprising, right? Usually it's not.
Whoa! I wore a tie to the anniversary show, sir.
That's true. That is true.
Goddamn right.
All right. So next, we're going to have Scott Eiper come in and give us his grievances.
No,
you know, this is usually brutal for me and you, Owen.
Yeah,
so you better get ready. We usually what we pronounced wrong.
I'm gonna start crying now. Let me know when it's over.
It's like... Scott was here an hour early, getting ready, pumping up. So welcome, Scott Eiper. What's up? He's muted.
Not now. G'day, guys. How are we going?
Hi, Scott.
Doing good,
mate. My grievance has just been taking my fucking nick. Egg cutting. What the fuck? The big difference with that is with me, if I cut eggs, I end up fucking dying.
Fair.
There's dangerous shit in those eggs.
Whatever happened to people doing V cuts in the top of an egg? Make sure once one slits, you do a little V cut, flap it back over, she'll be right. You know, that makes sense. Cutting off the whole top of an egg is just absolute lunacy to me. You know, maybe people get their rocks off doing it. I don't know. I tried asking. I asked a couple of people the other day about it, and they said, "Oh, well, we just want to see what we get." And I was like, "Oh, whatever, if that's what you want to do." But I sort of tend to agree with what Rob Stone was saying before, is that you can injure your bloody animal doing it. So, it makes no sense to me. The only other thing I had was that I want to see more of these bloody live videos and live streams and stuff like that you guys are doing. The old MPR days, it was all live and you could interact and you could throw you guys off while you were talking, and you don't do that.
You miss being able to sit up there on a balcony and heckle us while we were doing
100%, 100%.
No, that's a fair point. I go back and listen to old episodes, and I'll hear Owen go, "Shut up, Riley! No, damn it, Riley! No, get out of here!"
Listen, Jim is this close to retiring. I need to keep him at bay as much as humanly possible, because if he retires, he'll have nothing to do. So,
where is he?
I don't know.
He needs his own show on the network.
No, he don't.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
No,
I
he
think
does
so.
not.
Yeah, he do.
Yeah. Well, I haven't told you that me and him have been talking, but
Wow.
Scott's second grievances that we interrupted his grievances.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's all right. I'm not that rude to you, Owen, but that's all right. That's all right.
Yeah.
I have parentheses. I told you that before, Owen, but that's
What?
all right. I have parentheses.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my wife has parentheses.
She lets me look at them. Yeah, it's like
I get to play with them every now and then. No, that was it. That was actually it for my grievances. Other than that, I can't keep up with how many fucking podcasts you guys have got going on at the same time. There's so many days in the week. There's so many podcasts. It's just craziness. So, but obviously it's a sign of success. So keep doing what you guys are doing, and yeah, your pronunciation's getting better. I'll give you that.
Getting there.
Yeah,
we're calling it Bradley, right?
Yeah.
Bradley. I've noticed that.
Bradley.
We try to do better.
Every once in a while, I go back. I do go back, but it's hard to.
Mate, we all do. We all say the wrong thing every now and then. It is what it is.
It's not as fun as King Horny, but
the reality of it is probably a junior synonym anyway. It should be Dusapor against us, but that'll just completely screw things up.
I don't know what's happening.
So, someone asked me the other day, what sort of scrub pythons in Australia? I said, well, everyone's still using amethystina at the moment over here for the most part, because the Chippendale paper didn't really clearly define the difference between that and King Horny. So it's a pain in the ass, but whatever. At the end of the day, it's a big, angry snake that likes to bite people. That's
all you need to know.
Yeah, that's all you need to know. The snakes knows what they are, so what does it really matter what fucking name we put on the arbitrary box that we're going to assign them to? Give a fuck who cares. So, all right, guys. Well, look, you guys have a great Chrissy show. I've said what I needed to say, and best of luck in the new year. And hopefully, at some point in time, our fucking stupid fucking borders open up at some point in time, because I got shit that I want to go on herp, and I can't even cross a fucking border at the moment. So there's another fucking.
That's on my grievance.
There you go. That's yep.
Very good. Well, thanks, Scott.
Awesome, Scott.
Yours, guys. Thank
Always
you.
a pleasure.
We'll catch up with you later.
All right. Now we have. Hold on one sec. I'm trying to get Nipper a link, but it seems to not be working. But
no one's
while we wait for Nipper,
look at him.
We have the one, the only. No Christmas party would be the same without Jim.
Yeah.
He's here. Wait, he's frozen. Oh, God damn it. He's on the same computer Wi-Fi as you, Owen.
No, he's in a different place. He doesn't live here anymore. Threw him out.
I'm going to remove him.
Yep.
And then put him back in. Still didn't work.
Still didn't work.
Remove him.
Remove him.
Put him back in. Tell him to hang up and call back in.
Year.
Hold on.
He's frozen.
Good.
I don't know. All right. Tell him.
I'm getting it.
Okay. All right. In the meantime, hopefully Nipper, let's see. Is he back here? Oh my goodness! Leave it to the McIntyres to make the show.
Hey, I'm here and on time, and this is working. Yeah.
All right. While we wait for the man himself, let's talk about some numbers.
Okay.
So, all the extra NPR podcasts, spinoffs, shoot-offs, whatever you want to call it. The total was 93,854 downloads, which puts when you include NPR into it, is over 1 million downloads that we've had. Woo! Over 1 million. So that's pretty cool. So the top winner for the amount of listens for the new podcast is the Australian Herp podcast. Reboot the dial up. Yeah, exactly, Justin. They had 12,703 downloads. Next one up was a good friend that's in the chat there, Mr. Julander, Reptile Fight Club, 9,057. Strong contender right behind that was the Monitor Keeping podcast, which was 7,983. Carpets and Coffee. Now, Carpets and Coffee is a little bit of a weird one because we do a lot on YouTube, and that's not calculated into the listens. And because we do it live, most people will watch it on YouTube. But just the podcast is 7,919. So not too bad for us up here on the top row here. No, it's pretty good.
I get in a couple episodes. Come on now.
Every once in a while.
You're damn right. Yeah.
When I'm dead.
I have to come on to boost your numbers every once in a while.
Right. Yeah. That's true. We need and then
all the help.
Colubrid and Colubroid Radio. They were late to the party, so it's kind of not that fair because they only have like 4 or 5 shows, but they have 4,383.
Not bad.
Downloads, so pretty good.
Yeah, on a per episode basis, that's really good.
That's crushing it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess it tells me that a lot of people like colubrids or colubroids.
Colubroids.
All right, let's see. Let's try Jim.
Oh, and you even say the broid one wrong.
Shut up. No one asked you.
There he is.
Hi, Dad.
Man, the myth, the legend.
Still frozen.
Jim from Morgantown. He's
Nope.
frozen again.
Not frozen.
God damn it, Jim. Get
He's
your
moving.
shit together.
Jim. Speak to us, Jim. Okay. No, drinking. Good job, Dad.
Yeah, there you
Hey,
go. All
signs
right.
of life.
Now he's moving. All right. I know technology's tough, but let's go.
He is
All
hard.
right.
Yeah.
He's still moving in slow motion.
He's
I don't know.
moving slow motion.
You might have to drive down to Owen's place and
No, don't you come here.
Jim, they're asking if you're on dial-up.
He very well could be.
All right, I'm going to remove him one more time.
Remove him again. Kick him out.
And see what happens here. Let's see. Refresh.
Old man can't figure it out.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Yeah.
And Nipper isn't here either. Hold on. Let me
That's what
try
happens.
to
We
see what's going on with
advanced too far beyond Jim McIntyre. He can't do it. He just can't figure it out. Poor
The
guy.
older model's not compatible. Is that what you're saying, Owen?
Yeah, the older model's not compatible. You have to stick with me, is what I'm saying. You're forced.
Eric, maybe have him do it without the camera. Just do the
okay.
blank screen so it doesn't take as much feed.
Oh, I want to see him. I want to see him.
I know.
spitting when he's
I know.
yelling and shit, you know what I
Well,
mean?
I'd rather hear from him at least,
Yeah, that's very true.
You two are
Send that
actively
message to
trying
him.
to hurt me. All right, fine.
Jim again. All right.
Hey, you got me.
Jim.
There he goes.
Yeah.
Who's there? All right.
Jim. I had to switch to the phone.
Beautiful.
Good job, Dad.
Not that I'm technology challenged or any of that bullshit.
No, nobody was saying that.
Yeah, I was.
I was.
Hey, it's good to see all you guys again. I'm glad you're alive, everybody.
Me?
And I know you're stunned. I'm alive, everybody. So
Grateful.
Tried to kill
Merry
you several
Christmas,
times.
gentlemen.
Yes.
Where the hell's Stone?
He's right there.
He's up there.
Right here. What are you doing?
Bob
Come on.
Rock, he's right there.
Obviously, Stone cleaned up for the fucking show. Okay. Good to see you guys.
Dick.
So, anyways, a little concerned. Just another year. A little
little goofy, a little better than the year before. Kind of missed the old Carpet Fest thing, Drunk Fest in the summer. You know what I mean? So just saying, just throwing some ideas out. Maybe we can put Carpet Fest next year into a friggin' bubble. That's what I'm thinking.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll figure that out then.
Oh, I got and I got your Christmas card, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks.
Okay.
Surcharging me $200 because I'm your father's not going to fucking work, dude. It's just not going to happen.
I've been trying to drain money out of you for my 35 years of life, apparently.
Kennedy, but God had a better plan, dude. Just say it.
No, my parents went to Penn State. It was never going to be that way.
Absolutely.
There you go. I know. Yeah.
Anyway, it's always good. It's always good to get to see everybody again. Just one of those crazy nutty years. But I hope to see you guys in the summer, man.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
I really do. Okay.
You were really mad at Eric this year about Contraband Carpet Fest and stuff like that.
Can you do me a favor?
Sure. Anything for you, Jim.
Can you and Stone do me a favor?
Yeah.
When you cats take my son out to Arizona, the desert, leave him there.
Eric wasn't with us this time. That was where your plan fell apart.
That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking much, man. I'm not asking much.
They had their chance. They could have left me feverish in Australia. Yeah,
we could have.
Yeah, could have.
Yeah, that's where the toilets flushed backwards, and it took me 5 days to figure that out online, man. So okay, whatever.
I'm so glad you were keeping up on things. Yeah.
All right, you guys. Listen, you guys have a great Christmas. Stone came back. He disappeared. He came back.
He does that. He does that. He's quite magical. Yeah.
Crazy. Well, listen, you guys have a great Christmas, and I look forward to seeing you guys next year. All right, hang in there, man. All right.
Bye, Dad.
I'll see you later.
See ya.
That was a lot more tame than last year.
I know. Yeah. He's calmed down in his older years.
Don't worry.
It's not late enough. Have him call back in a couple hours. I'm sure it'll be different.
If we had let him get a couple more beers in, he would have definitely jumped all over it. And
Owen's not even embarrassed. It's not fun.
Yeah, I know. Well, we've gotten beyond the point where he's like, "This is what you've been doing every night. I thought you had a date." It's rambling.
It was really good.
Now.
It was really good.
So, well,
sorry, I was trying to get Nipper on here.
Is he walking all the way over here? Like he could just what is he doing?
I'm trying. I have 10 people at once. We don't have 10 people, so I don't understand why he can't join.
Yeah, God damn it. Well, I mean, you've kicked several people off, right? Unless people are listening, hanging out there. But anyway, this is definitely one of those things where we can kind of what's his address? We can all DoorDash him some liquor. No.
There was one question I wanted to ask Jim.
What was that? I'll answer it for him.
Does he believe in Bigfoot?
Yes.
Man, he's probably the one in the suit.
It's probably the one.
Let me
mess with Owen's head forever.
I know what his answer is, but I also know what his answer would have been to you. So the answer is no, but his answer to you is of course. Like, I mean, he would figure out whatever answer annoyed me the worst, and that would be what he wanted. So, yeah. He wants to know how he did. Well, Dad, you did good.
Yeah. Tell me wasn't as edgy this year. I don't know.
Hold on, I'll ask him right now. Do you believe in Bigfoot?
Yes, we need to know. Come on, Nipper.
Well, Nipper's doing whatever. So do we have anybody else have grievances or anything like that?
Oh, wait, I do have a grievance. To take over for a minute, when I got a grievance.
I will. I'll run this ship. I am captain now. So, does anybody else have grievance? Matt, do you have a grievance you want to share?
Nick nailed a lot of them, really.
Okay.
I mean, YouTube, very annoying. I watch it to get angry. I don't know why. The unboxing thing, never understood it. I never, like someone, I think someone before was like, I'm going to do an unboxing video of your stuff. And I was like, please don't. And they were like, oh, I've heard nothing but good things. And I said, it's not because I have anything to be ashamed of. I just think it's so stupid. So they didn't do it for me. So that was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I would need time to think. I came into it kind of blank. I want to hear Riley's. Riley always has he's always fired up. And,
there's always something grinding Riley's gears.
Pretty good usually.
Yeah. Riley.
You want to go, Riley, or do you want me to read Joe Rosa's grievances?
Get Joe's out. I gotta polish my thoughts a little bit.
Okay. Let that percolate. Yeah.
I'm gonna chug some more alcohol.
So this is from Joe Rosa. Here's my first grievance. Eric, sorry this is super last minute. I just realized the show is today. That's my first grievance. I put it out a week ago. No, I'm just kidding. All right. I have a couple of grievances I would like to share. All right. Get Jim on the damn show earlier so I can get the heavy drinking out of the way.
Good point.
That's number one. Right.
So apparently, just stopping everything, Dad says he does believe in Bigfoot, and he wanted to invite everybody who's on the live stream to Owen's wedding his treat. So that's a thing.
Okay,
and
very good.
He talks a big game, but I'm gonna take a picture and send this to the wife. So yeah. Anyway,
all right. Number 2, Riley, stop stealing all the Nova Guineas, you rotten bald slut.
Brutal.
True.
Okay.
The truth cuts.
Yeah, hurts, I did that right in front of him. Actually,
you did.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, like he was 2 feet to the left of me. I was like, "These are mine." And I walked away. Literally wrote my name on the tub. She's like, "Son of a bitch."
Very good.
Sorry.
This next one, number 3, goes out to Travis Johnson. How dare you move away? Now I have to find more people to hang out with at Reptile shows.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Travis just moved out to Tennessee, so
that means he's a little bit closer to the Northeast Carpet.
I'm gonna go ahead and claim him as a Northeast Carpet Fest attendee, and he's ours now.
Yes, he's ours.
You should pick him up free agency.
Yep, it happens.
That's right.
Yeah.
And this one is for Nick. Nick Mutton, if you would just use text to talk, the book would be 2,000 pages long and already done.
But it would go on. It would be like a choose your own adventure. Turn to page 5 to figure out what Nick thought about this.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
That's really good.
All right, now last one. More Carpet Fest. I need to test out my Wheeler repellent, and I can't fucking do that without more Carpet Fest. Love, Joe Rosa.
Well done, Joe.
Good point, Joe.
Yeah, the Wheeler repellent, that'll be a strong thing to test. Because you either get shithouse and contemplate jumping off roofs, or, keep that away.
I mean, Wheeler's a spunky guy. I bet you he'd blow right through any kind of repellent. I mean, come on now.
Justin wants to object to the grievance of Nick doing talk to text because the text has to go through him first. So now we know who really wears the pants in the Mutton Jewlander relationship.
Basically, it would just mean Justin would have to go through all those pages. It would basically be like a phone book every time. So yeah, all right.
I don't know why Mr. Nipper keeps coming up with a 404. There's nothing here.
Huh.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, we broke Nipper. It's a Christmas miracle.
I hit the invite at the bottom. I don't know what else I'm doing wrong. Okay.
Well,
Owen.
Yes.
Are you ready for your grievances?
I have many and numerous and such.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have a grievance that was texted over to me today that I was supposed to read on air from everybody's favorite buddy, Francis Pringle.
Hey.
Yeah, he says, could you do me a favor? I wasn't able to get it in, but when you guys are doing the airing, yeah, I know. When you guys are doing the airing of grievances, could you do my one and only? It is, can chondro breeders go back to good old-fashioned local breeding? To which my response was, chondros aren't from the U.S. I don't understand. So that's where we're at. But that was his. My grievance would definitely be along the same lines as Nick of egg cutting and things like that. And also people not really appreciating what they have in their own collections. We always are after the next one as opposed to what's right in front of our freaking faces. And I am totally guilty of that as well. So I would say maybe more taking a step back and enjoying the animals you got rather than always chasing the ones that you got that you want to get. And I would say that my other grievance would be people who think that FedEx is going to take the box from my house and drive it immediately to their house in a van, as opposed to every other fucking thing that FedEx has to do right now. They're like, are you still shipping? I'm like, no. Why not? It doesn't seem that bad. Fuck you. It's like, there's no chance in hell I'm putting an animal in the mail right now. Like, come on. And they're like, it's been delayed by several hours. Of course it fucking has. You live in the middle of nowhere, and you refuse to have it picked up at the hub like I wanted you to. So yeah, I would say there's that. That would be my biggest grievance is people seem to assume that when they purchase the animal, I walk outside to a FedEx man who has been sitting there waiting for me to leave my house for several months. And I hand it to him along with a piece of paper of their address, and they drive over there. That does not happen. So, and yeah, the goddamn water pythons. My female's such a bitch, and she's never going to breed with anything. She keeps biting everything, and I just can't get it. So, the damn water pythons.
Well done.
Thank you.
I only have 3 because I'm not angry this year. I'm actually pretty happy this year.
You have to breathe in order to be angry.
No,
you know?
I'm sorry. I have 4. 4.
Oh, see,
4
okay.
grievances.
0 to 4.
Yeah.
My first one is, if you're not a member of USARC and you make any type of money from reptiles, shame on you.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1.
That's fair.
Number 1.
Live feeding videos on YouTube. Can we just stop?
Thank you.
Really?
Oh, people still do that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
shit.
see it on Instagram all the time where
Stop
people
it.
like it's
Just
just a
stop.
ball python and a mouse. Like there's no point.
Why else would I click on something if they're not feeding stuff to snakes?
Unless there's violence, I don't want to see it. Like yeah.
My third. This one will hit home for you, Mr. Jimison. Can we please send a proper email or message when wanting to purchase a reptile? Not, yo, you got snake. And could you please know what you can afford before reaching out to a seller? God damn it, man. Get your finances in check so you can get your shit together.
Hey,
You want to buy a snake? Then have the money for the goddamn snake.
$sign emoji of a snake is perfectly acceptable.
I promise I have made a deal. First of all, I don't like selling reptiles at all, right?
No.
So that's number 1. So number 2 is this is the reason why I don't like selling reptiles, because I deal enough with these idiots at work all day because they can't get the goddamn bread that they wanted, and they want to come in and bitch to me because they don't realize we're in the middle of this goddamn pandemic and they're wondering where their special type of bread is. They don't make it because there's nobody to fucking make it. All right.
You good?
Anyway, I said I wasn't mad, but this makes me mad because I refuse. If you send me a message that says, yo, you got snake, it goes immediately into my delete bin. Immediately. Learn how to speak goddamn English. If you look up to these people so much that you want to buy a reptile from, then take the time to be respectful and ask them a question in the correct way. That's it.
Scott, that's my favorite. Scott writes in the like
drinking to that.
It's what is it? Snake, and then it's their zip code. It's like what? I don't know.
No, we're just bold. Like, what do you got for $100?
Yeah. Oh.
My favorite is that people will contact me assuming that I have the good shit in the back and I don't have it listed. They're like, "Do you have white lips?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "You don't have any baby white lips?" Bitch, if I had any baby white lips for sale, they would be up for sale on everything. I'm not sitting there going, I'll hold these until someone asks for them. Then I'll sell them.
Alex, you can't be guilty of this. You're not guilty of what I'm talking about.
No, he is, but it's because it was solicited. I gave him permission. So our transaction for his
different.
Was
no, that's fine.
Yeah.
If you know each other, that's a different situation. I'm talking about this person that reaches out to somebody that you never talked to ever in your life and have no idea who they are or what they're about or anything. And they just say, yo, got snake.
That's how I actually
fuck
address
you.
Eric
I don't
all
have
the
a snake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks
All
for
right,
the
I feel
permission,
better
Eric. I'll make sure to hit you up on that.
Very good. Very good.
Winter storms are coming where people will make French toast during a blackout. Get bread,
Oh no, I'm
milk,
good
eggs. Yeah,
because I can't breathe.
Can't breathe. He can't get too excited. Everybody, he doesn't have the lung capacity he used to.
You have to limit your gasps at this altitude.
That's right. I'm going to ask Nipper if I should read his grievances. Should I read?
We know we'll be hitting the near end of MPR when Eric is like, hang on, oxygen tank. And then it's like, okay, maybe we should just put this show out the pasture, guys. Like it is.
Oh, man.
Oh, can you hold an animal for 2 months? My favorite is, do you accept payment plans? The animal's $100. No. Well, what if I give you like $5 for 8 months? No.
See, I don't even hate that because they're asking a question. But I just, the idea that like if you can afford to give me $20 a month and you want a snake for $100, okay, it is what it is. Because I was 20 years old one time and had no money or a pot to piss in, so I get it. But maybe you should think about purchasing that snake because that snake is going to cost you money.
It's going to cost you more than $20 a month that you don't have. It's Plus, also, like, don't pay me, save the money. And then when you have the money to get the snake, there will always be a snake out there. I mean, come on. So
I'm telling Nipper we are so upset.
I am.
I know he's whole.
I am. I'm gonna say niche wrong 8 times now because he said that. Niche.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Every time Nipper messages me, he calls me a smut pixie.
That's an endearing term. Yeah.
Is it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
He doesn't call me anything.
But
he just glares.
You're my smut pixie.
Yeah.
I read it like that.
Yeah, as you should. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Does anybody else have grievances? Rob? Riley, you ready? You ready?
I'm ready.
Go for it.
Rip.
Uh-oh.
I pumped you up, right? I got you ready.
Yeah. No, you inspired a few more ideas.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
Mm-hmm. All right. First of all, Papuan pythons, Apodora. They are not olive pythons.
Wait, they're not?
They are not.
I got to change the website.
Olive pythons.
I don't know if I have a pair now.
Morph Market allows you to put them up as olive pythons. I'm like,
that doesn't make any sense.
So many people find Morph Market first, and they just sit there and browse around, and they see that, and they get off on the wrong foot.
Mm-hmm.
If we want details to matter, they have to actually matter. So, stop freaking calling them olive pythons, damn it. The other thing, when we're looking at the binomial nomenclature, for those of you who don't know what those words are and your brain just exploded in a fuse shortage, those are the Latin names for species. Like, we'll just appeal to whoever doesn't know what I'm talking about. Python regius or regis or whatever you want to call it. That's a ball python. You capitalize the first one.
Mm-hmm.
The names after all lowercase. Stop capitalizing the first letter. It just drives
Riley, do I have to send you a package soon? Because I cannot wait to put the scientific name on the little insert thing. I'm going to capitalize random ass letters. It's going to be great.
And I'll tag you and politely talk about how I
politely
have friends,
you must friends
not who have lower education than I do.
Wow.
And then I'll talk about how my olives are better. I'm just kidding. I love you.
Well, they ran into a refrigerator, but go ahead.
Another thing that bugs me is, like, I get when people want the protection of doing the goods and services and PayPal payments.
Mm-hmm.
But if we've already struck up a conversation and I've politely said, hi, either select friends and family or tack on the 3.5% that PayPal deducts to account for that payment, and then you can still have the peace of mind of whatever transaction security you need. Mm-hmm. I'm just a normal guy. I'm not going to rip you off. I'll send you your money back if something's wrong. But I get it. It's an online transaction in today's day and age. People are all over credit card fraud and all sorts of stuff.
Well, I want to add on to that. I heard people read all the small print and all that stuff, and that does not matter for animal sales. So it does nothing.
Oh,
see,
I used to tell people they can do it just so they feel safe, and then I forget who told me, and then another person told me, and I'm actually just going off people, but a lot of people told me, I didn't read it myself. They said because it's animals, it means nothing. Like if you were to go to PayPal and say this guy didn't ship me a snake, they would laugh at you.
Yeah.
So it doesn't
I would not be surprised. It's like how everybody was saying that we're gonna collectively get together and write a letter to FedEx to tell them to treat our snakes better. Like, you idiots. They're just gonna tell you to fuck off, and then we won't be able to ship things across the country.
Right.
Shut the fuck up.
We gotta like what Frank was talking about in the other episode, don't poke the bear.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, we can do a little better on our end. But yeah, if I politely ask somebody, please, you know, just do this because you're spending $1,000 with me. At the end of the day, all those PayPal fees, you've just taken $125 away from me, or whatever the hell it ends up being after multiple mini transactions, or, you know, like if you're doing a bunch of little things like that, it's just, come on now. So let's just be respectful to, you know, some of the small time breeders who are just trying to make the rodent bill justifiable. You know, that's all it is. Assume positive intent. I'm not trying to rip you off.
That's all it ever is just a.
And then we've already touched on this a little bit earlier as it goes to YouTube channels, but this past year I've unsubscribed more reptile YouTube channels than I have in any other sort of category. It's all trash. It's all garbage. And the most disappointing thing for me, period, is to see the least educational channels touted as the most widespread informational, and people just eat it up like it's actual fact. And it's literally like as valuable as the stuff you could lick off the bottom of my shoe. It's terrible. It's absolute trash. And there are some good reptile YouTube channels out there. You know how you find them? They're the ones with under a couple thousand subscribers. They're the ones with like a few hundred. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of sleeper channels out there that are really good, and they don't get the time of day because the algorithm doesn't play that. And they're not going to subscribe to the bullshit thumbnails and the clickbait and all this nonsense just to sell their souls. And those are the people who we need to put up more on a pedestal versus the free handling fuckboys and all the idiots that just, you know, collab with people they've never met just to get a couple million more views. It's all horseshit. And you can look at the numbers. The higher the number, the more full of shit they are, basically. So reptile YouTube is garbage. And then the other thing that I suffer from is just absolute frustration at how people that are coming into the hobby still view reptiles as disposable little trinkets. And that's just a side effect of me working in the retail end of it all. But
that was going to be mine, retail, brother.
Yeah, dude, the people that come in and they're just like, oh, you know, I don't care if it dies. I just want to put in this tank and replace the last one that died. I'm like, dude, no.
You should, because then you're going to be back here next week.
Get out of my shop, dude. Like, I could just as easily take your money every month for a new baby turtle while you put it in this little stagnant water plastic bowl with the palm tree on it and let it die in front of your little kid every month. But I don't want to do that because that sucks, dude. And there are still people out there that operate that way and treat reptiles as disposable things, and it's disgusting. And a lot of them are also some of the bigger names on YouTube. So that's all I have to say about that. And I'm going to wet my whistle and shut my trap.
All right.
Well done.
I don't know. Did we miss Rob's grievances?
I didn't go.
Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, I don't have many really anything. Try to be positive. I guess the only bit is just sort of hoping for the best in terms of being able to get to Australia here at some point, because we got a ton of cool places to go and things to see and all that. So that's really it. Other than that, try to keep positive and keep going on.
Keep on keeping on. I got the Christmas card from the family stone. It was like, we're fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. I'm like, is it? Like, I don't know. So it was fun to get that. But I am desperate to get back to Australia. But
yes,
herping US has been fun. Like, I know it's crummy because you can think about like where we could be, but I've really enjoyed the US trips so far.
That's because we go with a hell of a crew, man.
I know.
You know?
Yeah. So
right.
if you guys abandon me, I can find my way home.
I mean, 100%. And there is familiarity there, which Yeah, it cuts both ways, right? On the one
Mhm.
hand, it's there's a slight lessening in the adventure of being in a different place in a different space that seems it has a ton of similarity, and then there are some fundamental differences that make pretty clear that you're not in Kansas, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the man, the myth, the legend. He is here.
What?
Oh, mate, what the actual fuck?
I was promised he would not be here.
I'm sorry, man. He waited until 1 o'clock in the morning to air his
Oh.
grievances.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
I'm so glad you came because I would have screwed up the first grievance.
I'm so tired and grumpy now.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Excellent.
You brought Nipper pissed off onto this show. Good.
Oh.
Mm.
Anyway, how is everybody? We all good?
Better now.
Excellent.
I mean,
Yeah. I'm so glad
Yeah.
you could make it.
So am I. Right, shall we kick off?
Kick it.
Good.
I
for
actually
it.
thought it's nearly Christmas, and I think at this time of year, given COVID and everything, we should be positive and not really worry about the negatives. I'm just fucking with you. I've got a massive list.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
And then, yeah.
So, first of all, we'll break it in gently. First of all,
Mm.
Lucas.
What's up?
Lucas.
Is
my
he
little
going one at a time? This is terrifying. Go
Oh,
ahead.
this is gonna be bad. We're all in trouble.
my little smut pixie. So, where do you work, Lucas?
At the moment, I work
Which
at
shop do you work
the
in?
East Bay Vivarium.
No, you fucking don't. What is a vivarium? It doesn't make any sense. It's vivarium.
Oh.
Vivarium. Okay? Stresses me the fuck out every time you say it. So,
I work at the East Bay Vivarium.
well done, you. Much better. Now, while we're on the subject of pronunciation,
Oh, dear.
Owen,
Hi.
hello. What is this?
Mm.
Boiga. I think 100%.
Oh.
Boiga?
Boiga, I'll go with. Boiga, I'll go with.
Yep.
Boiga. Where the
Boiga
fuck are
is
you?
not
Where are you
right.
getting
Okay.
that from?
Okay.
What is that?
Don't
What is
know.
that?
No.
Yeah,
I don't know.
okay.
know.
So,
Payan.
don't even go there.
I bet you
Now-
love that.
As we have, do you know what, Riley? Out of all of the hosts, your pronunciation on everything is the best.
Hey.
I reckon
2
you've got a
points.
little. I reckon you've got a little bit of English in you somewhere.
Oh,
Somewhere
okay.
along the
I
line.
do. A lot,
Yeah.
actually.
There you go. There
Show
you
him
go.
your cup.
Show you what? Oh, cup.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I'm
thought,
loving
I thought
that.
Eric said something else too.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I was just gonna let that
I'm
ride.
loving that. I've got a lot of Viking DNA. I approve. Of
Oh
that.
yeah, I got a lot of Scandinavian, Welsh, Irish, Scottish, Swedish, English, all that in me. I'm
Kid.
a variable melting pot of destruction and excellent pronunciation. Apparently,
You very much so. So now there are a lot of hosts here from Carpets of Coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My big gripe with Carpets and Coffee is Americans don't know shit about coffee. Honestly, when I hear you all talking about coffee, it's kind of like a first-time corn breeder telling somebody how to breed Boland's pythons or something like that. It's no. Have any of you had coffee in Italy? Until you've had coffee in Italy, just don't.
There's
I
an
did.
ocean between
did.
us, and you just drive over. Like, come on.
I did. It's good. Yeah, the stuff
right.
here is good.
There's a,
Crap.
Jesus
there's, a
Christ.
sea, there's a sea between us and Italy as well, mate.
Nah, whatever.
Okay. You don't even use coffee machines. You use cafetières, French presses.
I don't
Yes.
use French
I
fries.
don't.
All you're doing is making quick tons
don't-
of shit coffee. You need pressure. You need at least 7 bars of pressure to make decent coffee. You're not getting the oils out. It's like junior officers. You have to put massive pressure on them to get the best out of them. Invest in a proper coffee machine. Okay.
Very good.
That's your New Year's resolution. I want to see you all in the background when you're on your shows. I want to see a gleaming Lavazza coffee machine in the
I
background.
will do that. I will do that 100%.
How much that costs?
It's like anything, though. It's like watches or women or cars. You get what you pay for. Okay? So
I'm gonna look one of those up.
Lavazza coffee machine. Once you've had proper coffee that's been blasted through under pressure, you will not drink that brown sadness water that you call coffee. Okay?
My sadness water gets me through the day.
That's the other thing. When you drink, you've all got coffee mugs that are this big. Coffee is that big. It's a tiny little drink.
Nipper, it's the only time.
No, that's the only thing that keeps
big
Eric
toys.
alive.
That's it. I mean,
Yeah.
the little
Are you
cup.
talking about
immediately-
espresso?
Yeah, you got one espresso is enough. You don't need a big mug.
Hey, I'm sorry. I got to be the guy. Did you just say espresso?
Oh,
Espresso.
what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you
How,
doing
how would
this?
you say it?
What are you doing, Lucas? Where
Lucas,
have you
look away from
wandered
the light.
into?
Look away from the light.
Wander into the cage. Go for it. Okay. Keep walking.
What's wrong with you?
Keep walking.
Espresso. I do apologize.
Hey! Okay.
So,
Oh,
right.
it's next
What's
page.
next?
Yeah.
Next page of my right, Mr. Burke.
Yes. What did I do? Come on,
you
bring it. It
convinced me to do maternal incubation for the first time.
How'd it go?
was great, right?
It was stressy as fuck.
Thank you.
It was absolutely.
You got to drink more coffee, and it'll take the edge.
I don't think I slept for about 50 days. I was checking like every 20 minutes. I couldn't even go for a poo. It was a nightmare. Genuinely super stressful. So
I
thanks for that.
apologize.
You did it. Never need to do it again.
100%.
Yeah, thank you.
No, why would we trust? Why would we trust an animal to do it when we've got an incubator that could do it much better?
Science. Yeah.
It's like music. Music played by people never as good.
Never as good as a computer. No, he's right. He's
Right.
Nipper
right.
cannot talk about music.
All right, good. So
He moved along. I see. See, Lucas.
moving on.
Next
Moving on.
one. Next item.
Photographic competition.
Oh.
The calendar?
The calendars?
Yeah.
My photo was the absolute shiz and got nowhere.
What did you submit? I don't even remember.
You didn't even fucking look at it.
No, I
did
saw
you?
your name and I burned it.
You
Yeah,
in
it
the
was-
top 3.
Fuck this guy.
It was fucking amazing. And all you do, it's the same every year. It's not a photo competition, it's a snake competition that Eric and Owen like.
Yeah.
You can take the best photograph, absolutely pin sharp, crisp from nose to tail,
Right.
and it'd just be dog shit as far as you're concerned. But if it's some morph and it's out of focus and you've got a couple of scales that are in, oh, that's amazing. We'll make
It's
that
easy.
work.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he's right.
I'm a busy man. I
Yeah.
don't have time to take pictures that aren't going to get the recognition they deserve.
I love your pictures, Nipper.
Thank you. Thank you. So either rename it as Eric and Owen's We Like Snake Pictures competition or and it was a photographic competition. You can't
Right.
do
Or
both.
likes and stuff like that, but that's
can't
always
do both.
dangerous.
Yeah, you can't do both.
No.
Now, Mr. Burke again.
Oh, jeez. I got
Double
2.
dipping
All
on
right.
Eric.
You
Jeez.
get 2. I'm going to say one word to you, and you're going to know where this is going.
Mhm.
Geckos.
I know.
I've just come back from Europe, one of the big international shows. I spent a fuck ton of money, and it's your fault.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
It's always his fault.
I don't, I've been a dedicated snake keeper for 3 decades, longer than most of you lot have been alive. And now I'm moving stuff out of my snake room in favor of racks of exoterras. What the fuck has become of me?
Is it our fault that you're susceptible to the siren song that is Eric Burke? I mean, come on.
Do
Now.
you know what he does? He's like
Yeah.
he's like a little crack dealer.
I know.
You know, you just
Just a
mind
little
you.
taste.
I had 8 snakes when I met that man. Like, come on, I know.
I can believe it. I mean, you get a little message. Oh, how you doing? Have you seen this? This is nice. This is nice. Look at this. This is pretty.
I wish I could get that. Oh, you could get that? You should do that. And then it's like, fuck.
Then he reels you in. Oh, we've seen this. Oh, look at the picture I took in Australia. This is, this is a Shapirus. Oh, look, this is nice. Oh, have you seen this book? Yeah. And now I have a building that is now half snakes and half geckos.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed. I'm obsessing about substrates. I've actually got fucking sand that I've imported from Australia. It makes no sense to me. I'm now dealing with insects. Anyway.
Yeah.
Insects are the worst. I can attest.
Oh, mate. It's easy being a snake keeper. You feed once every 3 weeks. You open it, little vivets in there. Brilliant. I'm having to check every day. There's poo down the glass. It's just,
with the Ackies, I have crickets, and they keep getting out. And so there's crickets all over my apartment all the time.
No, I couldn't be doing with that. That's why I have everything in a separate building, not indoors.
Wow.
No.
Okay, you can dream, dare to dream.
So there we are. So that was my gecko rant over with. What else have we got? The other thing is, again, Mr. Burke.
Damn, 3.
Keep going for Eric.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Keep sending me gecko pictures of Australia. And Scott was really bad for this today.
Yeah.
Scott bombarded me with pictures of velvet geckos all day, in situ, even some that he'd found on his house. I want to go to Australia for the first time. Yes. I really am actually excited about herping Australia.
Very good.
Never happens.
Fuck America.
No.
Hey. I thought one of mine was going to be the fact that, like, the second I got cell phone signal, I sent him a picture of the clobbery going like,
mate,
what corn snake is this? And sent it to him. Like,
we're getting to that.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. I'm saving my angriest rant.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. So yes, now I'm actually thinking of going to Australia for the first time ever, which is a mess. Good. So you brought it up. Let's talk about Arizona.
Okay.
Now, this one, we're going to start off with Mr. Stone.
Oh.
Mr. Stone, Mr. Bobby Pebbles, Sir Robert of Boulders.
Okay.
He planned, curated a fantastic list. The logistics, absolutely superb. Only trouble is, I couldn't fucking get into America. Apart from Riley, you non-Viking DNA people were obviously confused and frightened that I might bring some disease or something like that. So I've got Rob sending me, we're going to go and see this fantastic itinerary. It was a joy. And I couldn't get there. So frustrating. You have got no idea. That is, it was doing my head in. And then, to make matters worse, I appreciate English isn't your first language because you're American. So I looked it up in the dictionary for you today. To taunt somebody. Taunting. To cause discomfort and anger by physical or verbal jousts. So there we are. So I'm gonna picture the scene. It's 0500 in the morning. Obviously, the likes of Lucas will have never seen that. It's about 5 hours. It's about 5 hours. It's about 5 hours before you get up.
Okay.
So,
all right.
0500 in the morning. It's pissing down with rain. I'm freezing cold. We get drizzle in the UK. It's like really cold rain, horrible. And I've just started a shift, so I know I've got 12 hours of shit. And then I get a little ping on my phone. And I'm thinking, it's great. It's going to be a loved one just checking in to make sure I'm all right. Or it's going to be somebody sending me an interesting picture of some field herping thing they've seen or something like that.
It was.
Or it's going to be, some new bit of information that I can pass some time with. But no, it's a picture of a beautiful rattlesnake with, as you so rightly said, is this a corn snake?
Yeah.
And then it just went downhill from there. So over the next few days, every time my phone pings, I'm looking at it. You found my absolute number one want species for the US, which is Willardi. And then I get a picture that just says, do you know what this is? I'm not sure what it is. We've just found it. It got to the stage where I was getting PTSD every time my phone rang. I was just like a little ball curled up in the corner. Some more shit.
I talk a big game when I know you're across an ocean. So I will admit that freely. If you had been anywhere close, I would not have said anything. So.
To be honest, the taunting was so good, I have to respect you for it. It was good. I will just say, though, Rob is planning some trips for 2022, and I really cannot wait to spend some quality one-to-one time with you in the dark.
In the dark, where no one can hear me scream.
In the desert. Yeah.
It's like, well, Nipper, where's Owen? Oh,
yeah.
Jim's dream might come true.
Yeah. So there we are. And I think, chaps, that's it. That's my list of grievances for this year. I think everything has been splendid.
Very good.
All right.
Yeah.
Lesser this year. It's not as,
We're slowly over the years calming Nipper down. Calming him down.
It is. I'm absolutely fine now.
Beautiful.
Maybe gecko keeping just chills you out.
I think so.
I can't imagine that. They're all over the place and they fall apart if you touch them. I can't imagine that. Like, no.
Oh, cool.
Yes. Excellent.
Great.
So I don't know where you want to go next, but I do have somebody that's sort of sitting. I know Keith put his thumbs up, but I don't know if he was putting his thumbs up because we were talking about Arizona or he wants to come in. Oh, okay. Here, he wants to come in.
All right, yeah, you go.
Keith.
Hey, Keith.
Hey. What's going on, Keith?
What's
How you guys doing?
The man, the myth, the legend.
Can't complain.
You got Nipper over there. He's one of my grievances.
Oh, mate. Oh.
Every time I talk to him or my wife talks to him, he calls me a cockwobble.
Womble.
God, wumble. Okay, right, yeah. It's a term of endearment. Yeah.
It's only out of love.
Yeah.
Very true. Well, I think I should just take a minute to announce what we have planned for 2022, since I have two of the people that are thumbs up for you, Owen.
Yeah, do it.
Okay. All right.
You need my
because I have
approval to do anything. You understand that? Go.
What's that? Okay.
Nothing.
Very good. So we're going to be adding a few more podcasts to the network. And the first one is going to involve myself, the gentleman below me, Mr. Nipper Reed. And it's the first time that we're doing a crossover of the THP network with the MPR network. We're going to be having Phil Wolfe join us for a gecko-focused podcast. And we're going to be talking about, we're going to do sort of like the herping for them, keeping them, natural history, focusing on it, and sort of not do a interview type of thing, but little excerpts from people talking about various topics. So
Schmitty didn't know we were stealing Phil.
Oh.
So
sorry, Schmitty.
Sorry, Schmitty.
I thought Phil would have shared that with you.
That's
okay.
One of those things where, yeah. Anyway.
Okay. All right. So there we go. All right. And the second one, which I'm actually pretty excited about this, because two of the people that are in here are going to finally do a legitimate BOA podcast, and that's going to be Keith McPeak and Rob Stone, joined with Mr. Warren Booth. Or I should say Dr. Warren Booth.
Dr. Warren Booth, yeah.
That's just going to be fabulous, because I don't think that I've ever heard a legit BOA keeping podcast.
And from three guys who've done like insane amounts of different BOA species, just by the three of them, it's going to be insane. It's going to be awesome. And do we have a name for it yet, or is it just boas, no matter what happens? Like it's
no, not yet.
Okay,
we're working on it. But,
so that'll be a good one too.
Right. And I think the two guys at the bottom will be happy about this one. And I think, Keith, you might be the first guest, but April Justine is going to be coming on, and she's going to be doing a short tail python podcast that's just called Strictly Shorties. So it's just going to be like a, I guess there's a lot of misconceptions about blood pythons. You guys at the bottom would probably know more than me about it, but I think her goal is to sort of like get that misinformation out there and talk to some of the legit keepers and people and the history of some of the stuff and whatnot. So that should be pretty cool as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you guys will probably both be on at some point, I imagine. I mean,
yeah, I would imagine so. I think Keith is number one guest. So
yeah,
so there's that.
We'll
he
save
doesn't
Matt
even
for
keep
later.
them anymore. How's he?
I know, right?
And
What is he going on?
And wait,
That's
I
what
just saw a post where he still refers to them all as Curtis. That's how old he is. They're
Oh
not.
my god, he's so out of touch with it now. He left for those tree-dwelling black snakes that
He
he
called it a
has.
Bronger's My Curtis. You can't even allow that anymore.
Right. And then we're going to be so Clarpet Cliff Notes is coming back.
Clarpet.
And
Clarpet Cliff Notes.
Clarpet. Clarpet.
Yeah.
I didn't want to call them Crappets, so I went Clarpet.
Good.
They're going to be coming back, and Nick Mutton's going to be helping me with that one.
Nice.
So that should be cool.
Yeah.
And what else? What else do we got? And so instead of doing the natural history stuff on the NPR thing, we're going to revise Student of the Serpent with me and Rob, and that's going to get going again. So that should be cool. Just the natural history focus of whatever species it is. And for me and Owen, we're going to be adding a couple of segments into NPR where we're going to do a legit book review where we're not talking about like our top favorite books or whatever. We're going to sort of be taking a book, reading the book, and talking about the book.
It's gonna be like Oprah's book club.
Are you guys gonna have just like an actual radio station? It sounds like you'll just have shows all day, every day. That's what it sounds like.
That is the plan.
Well, the goal is at this point that there would be a show every day. So
yes.
That
is the plan. A show every day, and then that's when you get the money. No, it's
yeah. So we're gonna get that going back again, and then I think one that will probably me, Riley, Lucas, and Owen have talked about this, but a legit, like I watch a lot of tech videos and stuff, but this will be a legit review, and I've talked to Nipper about it as well, but a legit review of herping equipment. And somehow tie that into a YouTube video. Nick's first rant of the thing was YouTube videos suck. And I think that I don't really see any type of legit review of herping equipment and how you can set different up and how you can use technology to help with your herp rooms and, different lighting and different, all these different things that now as technology advances. So we're going to be adding that at some point, and that'll probably be a lot more YouTube type of thing but also in podcasts. So yeah, that's the goal for 2022. So sounds exciting.
If Nipper's involved with the product thing, do we have to use the metric system?
Obviously.
Of course. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay.
It'd be nice if you started driving on the proper side of the road as well.
That would kill a lot of people.
It'd be super exciting for sure.
For those first couple of days would make my job insurance very busy, and I would like to not do that, please. Okay. So
I think that's a lot of I think that's some cool stuff to add to the network, and I think that's pretty much probably going to be it. And if you can't find information on the NPR network about reptiles, then I give up.
Are you even looking? Yeah, come on now.
And Eric, maybe the split out herp history stuff to give people even more content to think about.
I forgot. Yep, I forgot about that. Rob's gonna help me with that, and it's probably me, Rob, and Owen, and I don't know. if he's there, if he doesn't want to be there.
I'm
You
right
never
here.
know. Owen's getting married this year, so I'm not trying
I
to tie
can
him
be
down to
involved in
anything.
things.
I know you can. So we're gonna split that off of the MPR show and do a more legit herp history that's on its own feed and whatnot. So I don't know. Sounds pretty cool. I think it will be good stuff. But I do have a gentleman that I wanted to add to the list here because
more people.
We can add one more person.
Okay.
And so one of the questions that we pick every year is who's your favorite reptile personality of the year? And Keith was one of mine, Nipper was one of mine, Justin was one of mine, Matt was one of mine. So it's like you're all here. Oh, yeah, it's all Justin's here in spirit over in the chat. But I gotta say, man, the guy that impressed me the most this year with reptiles is none other than Mike Stefani from Mike's
Hey, Mike, what's going on?
Hey, how you guys doing? How you doing, gentlemen? And you too, Owen.
I love seeing keepers that are super tuned into their animals. He doesn't really doesn't worry about what other people do or what other people are telling him. He looks at his animals to sort of figure out what's going on. I know he said on our show that he's like not the most academic guy, but I don't think that matters because I think he has knowledge of his animals just from observing his animals that I would say would probably go against academics because sometimes it's all book knowledge rather than actual knowledge of watching the animals.
See, while all the academics were studying books, I was daydreaming about animals, so it worked out.
There you go.
Yep.
I think this came from Keith, and it was Mike. You're doing great work with the monitors you keep. It's obvious that your animals are so relaxed and at ease that they breed freely for you. There's all types of breeding, easy to see if your animals do it because they're happy. So, I don't know where he wrote that. I don't know if he wrote that in one of our chats or messages or whatever, but he put it into perfect words as Keith always does.
Thank you, Keith. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem, bro.
But I don't know, Mike, man, you super impressed me. Kimberly rocks are rock solid. I love those things. It's the greatest thing I ever got. I keep telling everybody, I'm going to get everybody onto them too. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Nipper, make room for Kimberly's.
I'll tell you what, Mike, I have to keep away from him because whenever I see his stuff, I'm so desperate to get monitors and I'm fighting really hard not to.
Well, hey, you're working your way up there. You got the geckos. Yeah. Pretty soon you'll step it up and you'll get to the real deal.
The next step up,
It frightens me.
And Mike has the two best monitors in the world. If you like small stuff, it's the Kims. If you like the medium stuff, it's the Mertens. Everything else sucks.
Oh, come on now. That's rough.
Wow.
That's rough.
At least comparatively. They're awesome. But comparatively, those are the two best, and it's not even close.
Well, I'll tell you, with these new sulfurs that I got, so to have a sulfur water monitor that's going to be a 7-foot plus animal that looks like a Spencer's monitor, I'll take it, man. These things are cool.
My boss wants like your first clutch. Literally, he's like, those are the best. He won't pay. He won't go for them if they don't look like that A-grade quality that you have. Like I told him, bro, Mike's the only one to go to.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, guys. And like with, I've been doing monitors for a long, long time, and I've seen plenty of sulfurs, and because they get so big and they're really variable, I was never really into them. But when I seen this group become available, man, it's from a local friend who actually has a wholesale business that he rents space from my wife. And she called me and said, hey, John's got this group of sulfurs he's looking to sell. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I thought she was like hinting to me like we should get them. I'm like, oh, yeah, we should get them. She goes, no, I didn't mean that. We can't afford them. So yeah, she busted my bubble, but that's what wives do. So, so I was brokering a deal for another guy, and he loved them. And overnight, this guy's he's got money, so he was gonna send me the money in the morning. So overnight, he must have been talking to somebody or looking at. He said he was looking at the pictures, and he wanted more photos. So this was, kind of a big money project. So I told John, I'm like, oh, hey man, this guy he wants more pictures, and I hear him in the background. Oh, what the fuck? And so I hung up the phone with my wife and John, and later in the day, the guy called me and he goes, after I told my wife and John, this guy wants more pictures, a few hours went by, and I called my wife back, and I said, hey, is John going to take pictures? Because it'll be a done deal as soon as this guy sees current pictures. And she goes, F that guy. I'm like, what do you mean F that guy? She goes, they're sold. I said, wait a minute, man. I got to know where they're going. I wanted to keep track of them. Mm-hmm. She goes, I bought them for you. You're going to breed them. Oh, I love that woman.
Your wife is awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she is awesome. Yep.
Yeah, so, those are hands down the best sulfurs I've ever seen. That
man,
the color, the banding, like, dude, yeah.
Okay, sure. I swear, I'm not one of those guys who like names animals and stuff like that. But that one female, that really nice, perfectly banded one, it looks like a freaking bumblebee.
Dude, I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you guys, man. I appreciate that.
We have a massive walk-in enclosure with a 100-gallon pool that we're just ready for like the next big lizard to take over, and so my boss wants to save it for some sulfurs.
Nice.
All right, well, there'll be. I'm thinking late 2022. I'll have some eggs cooking.
Hey, no rush, man. You do your thing. You work your magic. We'll be there.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Nice. I forgot to mention too. Mike's cage is top notch.
Yep.
Top notch, man. Top
lights out.
Yeah, everybody's out. Yeah.
So that's my reptile personality of the year. I brought him on. I don't know what your guys' take is, reptile personality of the year, but you want me?
I got to say something. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I want to say one thing. I feel like we're like a dysfunctional Brady Bunch thing here. but I'm just grateful I'm not in the Ellis spot. So we're good, man. We're good.
This motherfucker.
Awesome. Yeah.
Awesome.
No, that's awesome.
Very cool. All right. I don't know. You wanna go on with your guys' pick for 2021?
Yeah,
sure.
we're doing the monitor the reptile personality.
Of the year. Yeah.
It would be I chose myself. I'm a fucking delight. And all of you are lucky to have me. So that was my answer. So there you go.
Okay, very good.
But in more of a truthful answer, I would say my reptile personality is I'm going to do the guy down there at the bottom. I'm going to pick Mr. Keith McPeak because Keith is definitely a wealth of knowledge who has definitely been involved in the industry for very long, but he's also a very calming kind of voice where every once in a while when people are just kind of going nuts all around it, he's like, well, this is what my take is. And he kind of brings it down to a different level of a let's try to understand each other and what's going on with it. So, again, just the being able to reinvent himself from being a blood and short tail guy to having all the animals that he's got now. I'm not sure if I would have the balls to do that, like to sell all my carpets and be like, now I'm doing boas. Like I wouldn't know. I don't think I could. So,
Thank you, Owen. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
So
okay,
that was mine.
Riley,
yeah, pick an intern.
I was just tipping my cap. I was agreeing with that one.
Oh, Riley, you raise your
you
hand.
can go whatever rotation. Oh, all right. I mean, I guess it's easy for me sitting here. I kind of feel like Mike and Keith would definitely be picked amongst you guys. I don't think there's any question about how much respect all these gentlemen have here, but for me this year, it was Dan Malary. I've purchased many snakes from him over the years, and I've talked to him on a personal level. And then this year I had the opportunity to help work his booth with him and his wife when they came back stateside. Right. And that was just a pretty cool experience. He's a very, very humbling individual, very knowledgeable, very much an individual that embodies a lot of the kind of like the values and behaviors and the professionalism that I wish to embody, that I can't because I'm too young and impulsive and stupid still. But yeah, I really look up to him and how he carries himself, and he just sets a really good example for the hobby and everybody to follow. And I feel very fortunate that he's opened his door to me, just at least to be open conversationally and then work with him. And then, so it's been very educational to say the least. And I think he sets a very high bar of professionalism and ethical standards. So he's my 2021 personality of the year for sure.
Cool.
Very cool. Very cool. Lucas,
I'd like to go, Eric, if I could.
Go for it, Eric. Go for it, Keith. Lucas, shut up.
I'm not even here.
Shut up.
Well, obviously, Eric, Owen, Rob, and Matt have become family to me. You guys are like brothers. We talk about everything under the sun besides reptiles. And you guys are definitely family to me. And I have 2 reptile personalities of the year for me. Maybe 3. First, I'm going to shout out for Rob Stone, because the trips he puts together for us are life-changing for me.
Yeah.
And I'm not, he's opened my eyes to a whole different aspect of the hobby that I've literally been doing I'm 62 and I've been doing this for 55 years, having reptiles and all. And, I've went to Texas and stuff as a kid and half-heartedly looked at stuff, but Rob opened my eyes to a whole different world out there and how to really get into it and experience what the animals are experiencing, more than just seeing the animal, but actually feeling that environment and what they're living in and really looking and figuring things out. And my second shout outs go to Craig Trumbauer and Nipper Reed, and all the help they gave me through what I went through with the prostate cancer. It was just inspirational to me that these reptile guys got so personable with me to help me out through that process. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very cool.
It shows me, the diehard reptile guys stick together and look out for each other in more ways than just with reptiles,
100%. 100%. Yeah.
So I really appreciate all you guys, And Mike, when it comes to monitors, forget it, man. I had a lot of stuff. Back in the day, I had a lot of the stuff that Mike's working with now. And, I had success with a couple of the species that I was working with. And then now I'm seeing Mike knock it out of the park. And I'm like, texting him every once in a while, dude, you got to keep me in mind when you're doing this and keep me in mind when you're doing that.
Anytime, Keith.
I'm living vicariously through Mike right now for sure.
Yep. That's cool.
Very cool. Awesome.
Appreciate that, Keith.
Yeah, no problem.
Lucas.
All right, Lucas, you can do stuff now.
I may speak. Okay.
You may speak. I'm allowing it. Yeah.
Well, as long as Owen's allowing it. Definitely agree with everything that's been said. It always is an honor for me to be part of calls like this with amazing keepers and human beings such as all the people here. And I definitely look up to all of you. I will go with Loafman for my personality of the year, which is probably predictable. But, I feel like Zach kind of was in the shadows a bit with that for the majority of the last few years. And this year, everybody else finally got to hear how brilliant he is and how, great of a guy he is and what a wealth of knowledge he is as well. So shout out Zach Loafman. So much for all of us to learn from that guy's brain outside of even being his grad student. He's just a great dude. So,
100%.
Yeah.
Agree with that. Yeah. Okay. All right, Rob, you got anybody? I know it's Owen, right?
It is. It always is.
Well, so yes, off the bat, it's everyone on this call, for sure. And I mean that totally genuinely. You're all very special to me. I guess my clarification would be: is this supposed to be the? You sent a convoluted list here, Eric. Is this the
Thank you,
or is this the reptile personality? And how are those
Reptile
different?
personality.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are somehow different. Okay. Well, viewed through that lens, I will say that Matt Somerville is my personality of the year. But between the Instagram and then the component that he is of the natural herb keeper, I think all that stuff is fantastic. The photography is fantastic. All the things that he's seeing are fantastic. And then the captive aspect. And then he's, come on the Aussie Herp podcast and done a couple awesome episodes. That would be my choice. Beyond recognizing that all of you are very special.
What the hell's going on with Lucas's thing right now? Like, what is the...
That's an Owen Squatch.
What is happening?
What?
Thank you. All right. Well,
looks like my dad.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, that intern is fired.
Oh, I see what you're saying. No, what I meant, I see what you're saying, Rob, with the highlight of 2021. I'm talking about like somebody else's that you saw that was a highlight for you, not necessarily your highlight, if that's what you mean. But the personality of the year is just who you dug. But
okay, yeah, we'll get to that later. As long as we are, I mean, we're already an hour 40 in, but
yeah.
No, I have thoughts on all these things. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
How about you, Nipper? Do you have a personality of the year?
I do. Obviously, and I think everyone's going to say the same thing. Everybody on here has genuinely inspired me over the last year, 100%. I know that I can, if I've got a question on anything, or if there's something I'm trying to find out and I'm interested in. Someone got a motorcycle in their house there?
I got a busy street and it's loud.
Behind me.
Matt's like, yeah, why?
Yeah. But genuinely, I mean, I find everyone here inspirational. So I'm going to choose somebody that's not here already, and that's going to be Phil Wolfe. Phil,
nice.
I speak to almost daily, and it's rare to find somebody with such, other than Rob, that's got such a breadth of knowledge about so many different aspects of field herping, reptile keeping, and is so consistently passionate about what they do. So I find that very inspirational. And without being a horrible, crawly bumlick, I'm going to say Eric, because we all talk to Eric, but he just doesn't sleep. He consistently is always thinking about new things, how to improve things. And I've been in the hobby for a long time. Apart from Keith and possibly Mike, I'm by far the oldest person here. And I've had decades of keeping snakes. And because of Eric, at the minute, I am more engaged and more inspired with the hobby. Just doing geckos and the Australian stuff, it's really reignited a passion that was kind of not waning, but was a little bit on just stale because I've been doing it for so long. So thank you for that. But as I say, everybody here, I think, is genuinely inspirational.
Right back at you, big guy.
Yeah, there we are.
Matt, what about you? You got any personality of the year?
Yeah, I mean, just like everyone else said, everybody in the room right now, really appreciate what Keith said and Rob. I look at everybody's very cool and special in the room, but like you, Eric, Owen, Rob, Keith, like family, we speak about a lot. We help each other through things more than just reptiles, and I always appreciate that kind of stuff. 100%. So with that being said, I kind of been laying low, not listening to a whole lot this year, but here and there. And I always enjoy hearing Ron St. Pierre. Always fun to hear him. That's a big one. Like I said, even some of these people, I'm not even sure if you talk about on the show or not. I'm kind of confused like Rob is, but like Rob Christian, Awesome.
Yeah,
dude.
anybody.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Always all over the place. Took a real awesome trip with, to Utah with him, along with Keith and some other people. That was really awesome.
Yeah.
And Dennis McNamara. He's another one I look at like family. Always enjoy hearing what he has to say. Yeah, them three guys.
Yeah.
Anytime they're on something, I'll go listen to it, you know.
Yeah.
Along with a lot of everybody else in this room, of course. So I don't feel like I have to listen to I feel like our message board is a podcast every day with us. So
yeah.
What about you, Mike? Anybody stick out to you? Who's your personality of the year?
It's going to sound kind of weird, of course, like you guys are all saying, you all for your own different reasons. Eric, definitely, you're one of my picks because when you wanted those Kimberly rocks, you were so passionate about learning and how much you wanted them, and you got the Zoopoxy, which I'm still wondering where your enclosure is.
Yeah,
but your interest in wanting to get into the Kimberly rocks and learn as much as you could, that's what I love. I love talking to people that I could tell, they're not getting something just because they want it. They get it because they love it. And I know you love all this Australian stuff. And then Keith, I got to say, you're a huge inspiration for me for all that you've been through and the way you hold yourself. You're always kind and nice. And I could imagine, going through some of that stuff, maybe you'd be a little bitter or whatever, but you're a straight up dude. So Eric and Keith and the rest of the guys, MPR, I love it.
Dig it.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's it's funny. The other day, Keith sent a picture in our chat of him in the middle of Australia because I guess like 2 years ago we were there.
Yeah.
Dude, that was a life-changing trip that I don't think will ever be topped. I don't think I'll ever have that trip topped. Dude, that was the most amazing whole trip.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, come on, man. What?
No.
Lucas?
Oh, Lucas is leaving.
I just wanted to say I got to run. I got to go help my mom with something. But
very good.
You're all wonderful people. I'm very grateful to be a part of all this, and I hope
we love you, Lucas.
Great rest of the show.
Absolutely.
We'll catch you later.
All right, man.
Be good, Lucas.
I'm also going to get out of here, guys. I got to go take care of a couple things. So it's been great chatting with you.
Right.
I'm happy to finally kind of be back on podcast, I guess, sort of say. Yeah. So maybe 2022, I'm looking to jump into some. Hopefully, I turned down a lot this year because of stuff I had to go through and things that were going on. So hopefully, I'm back to it. So
I'm looking forward to hang out with you soon, man.
Yeah. Hopefully we all get together real soon.
Yeah, we got a vacation break right here going. So
Yeah, and I got to sync up and get somewhere with you guys, whether it's Arizona.
Hell yeah.
I doubt Australia. I mean, it doesn't look that way. So yeah, I got to get on one of your guys' trips bad. I got the time. I just got to get the money and the time off of work, I guess. But I got plenty of time otherwise. So
I'm thinking.
Hey, I got a suggestion. How about Wisconsin in January?
That's not a good. I don't know.
That shit.
I don't think that would work.
I'll see you all later.
Take care. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, man.
I'm thinking we just all pick a day and show up at Eric's house. He can't stop all of us.
Yeah, what the hell,
that'll
man?
be the hangout point. Is just the So
you want to come see Kimberly Rocks and Lord of the Kimberly, don't you?
I do. I want to see my three namesakes. Yeah,
that was the highlight of my 2021. Kimberly Rocks was the highlight of my 2021 reptile hobby thing. I mean, I've put off monitors for a long time. I always wanted them. Rob has always told me that those Kims were the monitor to get. I talked to him a while and he knew I was a snake guy. And he's like, I don't know, Eric, that might not be the thing for you or whatever because of the bugs and this and that and all this stuff. And I'm so tuned into being a snake guy and not having to take care of animals every day or whatever. You can kind of like, it's a little bit different. But I took the plunge with Ackies and they were cool and I really enjoyed them. And then, I stumbled upon Mike. It was so funny. Like Rob wanted Mike to come on the show before I even knew who Mike was. And then I told Rob, I was like, hey, I found this guy, Mike, that's in the monitors. And he seems like he's like friggin' awesome. He's like, yeah, that's the guy I've been wanting to have on. And I'm like,
oh,
it's coming on next week. No worries. But getting those, oh, dude, I can remember, I didn't do an unboxing video. Sorry, Nick. But when I opened that box and saw those animals, I stare at them for hours. I'm just here editing podcasts and I just look over and there they are. Freaking
They're awesome.
Yeah, so that was the highlight for me for 2021. I don't know about you, Owen. What was your highlight? What was your most
highlight for me for reptiles? I mean, there's the highlight for keeping and then there's the highlight for herping. Highlight for herping would be that a first-time herper like myself wandering through Arizona found Clobberai and Willardi, in person, stared at them.
Yeah.
Saw them for so long that you got tired of me taking pictures.
Yeah, I walked away.
Yeah,
I walked away. And found more.
Oh my days.
I think Nippers is thinking about putting you in a hammerlock, man.
Yeah. So real quick, the other thing was hatching the Mad Hogs, but I do have someone here that apparently told me she has a list of grievances. So she wants to take my chair and microphone and do that. So
I really just want your microphone.
All right, go ahead, honey.
The main grievance is that I was kept from this.
Not all of it.
Not invited.
Not all the time.
Understand that you were invited. Owen just didn't give you the invite.
Yeah.
It's Owen's fault.
Most
sorry, buddy.
Fault. Yes. They're saying they did invite you. It's all my fault.
Oh, okay. It was definitely him then.
Oh yeah, they're agreeing with you totally. Yeah.
I knew they would.
Yes, I did too. They would throw me into the bus immediately. I knew every single one of them would. So,
that's right.
Yep.
Don't forget it.
As I do deserve. All right.
See, okay, so the main grievance here, though, is that every week I just get to listen to loud coming from upstairs.
He does have a loud voice.
I'm not that loud.
If you ever notice in the middle of the show, if he gets quiet, it's because I've texted him, why are you yelling?
Oh, and my fiance does the same thing, bro.
I don't know what she's talking about. I'm a very quiet, reserved person.
Nah, dude, I'm in the same boat. I got yelled at.
Well, here, I'll make a deal. I'm going to come over to your place. I'm going to soundproof the room.
Oh, okay.
So Owen can scream and holler all he wants, and you will live in peace and quiet.
I know, I heard him say soundproof.
Okay, good.
That would be great.
Okay.
Yeah. No worries.
He's not going to do it.
Yeah, we'll do it. No worries. I got foam out back. Yeah.
What do you want from downstairs?
Get out. Get out now.
If Owen wants to run into the wall or whatever,
she's getting ready to give you snakes to do it. Now get out.
Oh, I don't need snakes. I'll do it for love. That's all.
Well, he doesn't need any of my. He doesn't need any of my stuff. He has all my stuff.
Okay. Where's the interns?
No. Riley's still here, but
okay. So
I'll take donations.
What do you want, Riley?
Riley doesn't need anything.
Nothing that has jag in it.
Okay.
No, nothing.
Riley wants a vacation.
Right. Yeah.
I'll take some Gill and I if you have those. How about that?
Gill and
I? I just hatched my first clutch.
There you go, Mike.
Got
it.
Yeah.
Okay,
God damn it, Mike! Don't say that.
Yeah.
I literally have to like bury my head in the sand. I was over at Alan's place the other day, and I walk into his place and we're there with my friend Kathy getting an Ackie, and they're talking and they're not paying attention to me, and I'm just kind of like, I'm gonna open this cage. Oh, there's a Kimberly rock. I'm gonna just take that and put that in my pocket. And I kind of just stood there, and she let me do it. And I was like, "Oh, sweet!" I just grabbed a female Kimberly rock and just put her in my pocket. Just kind of stood there. It's like
Kimberly rocks love pockets.
They do.
Yeah, this is
they
what I
need it
need.
in the wild. Yeah.
Shit, where am I gonna put that at home? And I had to put it back.
And the thing is, you would almost be able to convince the person who was that Alan you were talking about.
Yeah, it's Alan.
They're escape artists, so you would almost say, I don't know nothing. And see that little crack there? Could have got out of that.
We were busy chasing a loose green tree monitor at the time.
Oh,
yeah, he just said that in the chat.
Yeah.
is it because the door got left open?
I just opened it and
That
helped
myself. That does not happen here, ever.
What you need to understand is when I'm around people that I know, at least on a comfortable level, I'm just gonna raid your shit. I'm gonna just open shit. If I get bit, it's fully my fault, but I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna be like, hey, what is this? That thing bites. Careful. Everything likes to bite me. I'm aware of this. What is it? I'm playing with it.
You can't really rock in it though, right?
Hell no, that thing was awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's better than my Savannah monitor that I've had for the last 8 years. Who knows me? This thing was like, oh, I think you like Australian stuff. We're gonna bond. We're cool. You're good.
We're cool.
Do whatever you want. Like what? This is way cool.
Man.
Like I told Eric that if he wants something different, that he should get some King Orem. That if he wants something that fits into a different box.
Yeah, I mean, I love my King Orms. They're the books and everything say they max out at 9 inches. I have a bunch, but my original trio, they are maybe 6 inches, and my female, she'll drop 5, 6 eggs, and I have no idea where they put these eggs because if you put them end to end, it'd be longer than the lizard.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's in there right now laying a clutch.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I told you, Eric, that's if you want to add something else, that's the play.
Hey,
That's
Mike, when were King Gorham first sort of like legal in the States?
I mean,
they've been around. I mean, Frank had them back in the Europeans had them in the 90s with the leucistic stuff and all that burned and all that stuff, and Frank had them, so they've been around.
The whole Australia thing. I mean, when I was doing this stuff back in the early 90s, I was more into like the New Guinea stuff. So green trees, black trees, peach throats, croc monitors, they were all being imported, but nothing, you couldn't get, anything from Australia. There was stuff here. So yeah, I don't know, obviously, and apparently it's illegal, but they're still coming here from somewhere. I mean,
Germany.
Yeah, okay, they come through Europe and stuff, absolutely. But yeah, I couldn't tell you.
I'm just curious.
Did Australia
and I mean, stuff does have paperwork. The whole notion, whether if you want to dispute the paperwork, fine. Hey, heck, man, if that's your take, then you should apply for a job at Fish and Wildlife at the Port of Miami. That's how they take their job down there. Is that it's their job to judge legal paperwork. But that's a misnomer. It's a mischaracterization. Certainly, there has been problematic stuff, no doubt, and there is stuff that maybe you would question whether that paperwork should have been issued. But I mean, heck, there have been instances where the paperwork's been issued. Zoos have called up on that paperwork and said, hey, just wanted to validate your signature on this. And the officer that signed it said 100%, I signed off on that paperwork. Then how is it your job, person X to judge that process? It isn't.
Right.
That's not how our legal system works.
I'm always curious because the first time I saw leucistic King Gorhams was probably 2000.
Those were in Europe in the 90s.
I saw him in 2012. So and the guy who had him hyped him up as like hush hush sort of thing, and I was like,
now they were in Bernd Eidenmuller's book. From what? Tell me, Nipper, was that 07, 08? What that first one? He just put out there's a new one that just got published this past year. But no, I mean those aren't new.
No. They're new. I just hatched 2 of them out. Last year, and I've been raising them up, and man, they are so amazing, cool. Beautiful,
such neat little tiny velociraptors in a small package.
Their heads are blast white, and they have beautiful orange bodies and blast white tails. They are freaking amazing.
Yeah, I'm so glad that I was blessed with the curse for an obsession with snakes before the obsession of lizards, because I'd be 10 times more broke than I am now.
Yeah. Hey, I like Eric's take. You take care of your snakes, and I'm not saying nothing, but while you're not, like monitors, you got to deal with them every fucking day. So with your snakes, the days you don't have to deal with them, then you got monitors to play with.
Yeah. The nice thing is I satisfy that itch 5 days a week, 40 hours a week at work. I get to go play with black dragons, lace monitors, sail fins, all this other shit.
What a nice job.
But then I come home and I'm like, I kind of like just sitting in my room doing a whole lot of nothing. But I'm telling you, man, I miss Aussie frills. I miss having my own colony of monkey tails. I mean, I still have a colony of monkey tails at work, but damn it. Those things are so social. They're so... The parental attention they provide their offspring is second to none. Dwarf monitors are just a whole nother ball game that, like, oh, dude, I could absolutely just go off a cliff, just light the dynamite behind me, let me fall, please. Man, yeah.
The coolest part about those kings is how they feel, right, Mike? How they feel like Uromastyx. They're so soft on the body.
Yeah. Right, and it's crazy too, because I don't want to open up a can of whoop ass here, but as far as like UVA and UVB and stuff like that goes, when you look at these deep desert monitors like this, if you look at them in the right light, their scalage is almost like, and I have no knowledge of this or any way to back it up, but you know, they're from pretty open areas where they get lots and lots of intense sunlight. But the scales on their back, when you look at them a certain way, you can almost see a prism, a clear diamond-shaped or triangular-shaped to that scale. And I'm looking at it, and just looking at it, I'm thinking, why? Why is this like this? And
that refracts light.
That's where it refracts light. So while people jump on that UV bandwagon and are like, oh, you got to have it. I think some of these monitor lizards actually have a way to defer a lot of that UV, because unlike in the wild where they could tuck under a leaf or in a rock crevice or whatever, in your enclosure, if you have like a UV light and it's not a spot, but it's more like a broad spectrum, they don't really have much ways of getting away from it. When they're out, they're exposed to it. When they're hidden, they're not. So when they're in the wild and they have no choice but to be out in the sun like that, I believe over time they've evolved to have, like you said, this refraction type scalage or whatever it may be. It's like a prism, and I do believe, like you said, that it refracts the light and it probably takes away some of the UV, so it's not as intense.
Yeah.
100%.
I think there's a lot more to be learned on that whole thread. The hobby is finally asking the right questions about the technology that's available. So this recent push into UVB and UVA emitting LEDs in a wavelength and a spectrum that is safe and usable for reptiles is probably technology that's 20 plus years old. It's just now finally being asked for by consumers like Ryan McVeigh at VivTech, and then the tidal wave of companies following it afterwards, because you stay relevant or get rolled over. But the science still needs to be figured out, and to say that there's a blanket statement that all reptiles need it and it's beneficial across the board is just as ludicrous as saying no reptiles need it and it's across the board, but none of them need it. It's the other side of the pendulum, same side of the mirror, just opposite sides of the coin. What it needs to be taken into consideration is that there's a case-by-case basis, and we don't have the answers, and we still need to do CBC chems and blood work and this and that. And ball pythons don't seem to improve their blood chemistry from extended exposed UVB, UVA exposure, but it doesn't hurt. And that's a good starting point, and it's worth exploring. And, just because they don't use it doesn't mean they don't benefit from it. It's the same thing with putting perching in baby tubs. We just don't know. We just don't know.
And with that said, Riley, I also, I'm not a rich man. I don't have a lot of money. Everything I have, I value. And I don't want to try out any kind of new, obviously the Arcadia and stuff that, according to their own marketing techniques, are pretty much, if you ask me, it's a gimmick. After 6 months, you got to move them so much closer. After 8 months, just throw the bulb away and get a new one. Well, that's their marketing. But with this new stuff, that there's claims that it provides UVA and UVB for, years. I want to know what that's doing to hatchlings' eyeballs, what it's doing to their perianal eye and their skin, whatever. I don't think there's enough out there on it that I'm putting in my cage.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Straight up,
know.
we don't know.
Yeah.
I can tell you that the products that the consumer is buying off of the shelf from the big name brands, we all have the ability to stay up on the opposite time schedule as the rest of the world and talk to those distributors and just ask these questions. And without going into too much detail, that's exactly what my employer has done. And we've been able to get mercury vapor bulbs, all the insight on the manufacturing, and kind of cut a few steps out of the way to find out how much nonsense is in there. And a lot of the changing hands is where the markup in price goes. There's a lot of contracts that prevent these companies from improving their existing products because they have to literally redo an entire contract just to change an outlet or the tab that your bulb receives in the base of the dome, things like that. So in our search to sort of cut out middlemen and figure this out, I'm sad to say that most of what we're fed about the current most relevant hot new Reptile products is all bullshit. Even from the people that say they've diverted from the corporate bullshit, they are equally as prey to trying to pad their own wallets. So
100%.
If you and I want to talk off air and you want to try some LED UVB bulbs straight from the manufacturer that don't have any crazy fucked up markups and all this bullshit, you let me know. I'll send you some.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll talk off air.
Yeah, because this technology isn't new. It's been around for 20, 25 years.
Right.
We just have to ask for it. And then we have to vote with our dollar. And then we have to support the small mom and pop shops. And we have to support the people challenging convention. Ryan McVeigh spurred a revolution in the reptile lighting. And that's like the biggest thing that's happened in the last 5 years as far as reptile products goes. So we should all be grateful to him for sparking a fire, because you know what's happening that I don't know if you pay attention to, but Zoomed and Exoterra are all scrambling to now put out a UVB LED bulb.
Right. Now, do you, I know Ryan. Ryan's close to me here. And I know his company is in its infancy. I'm not sure about how much date testing he's done, or they've done on, and I'm not saying only him.
I think he's probably done the most to date. He's probably most up to date with it.
All right. I was talking with another well-known zoo guy. I'm sure you guys all know him. And he was telling me about some woman, Frances. She's like the UV wavelength go-to person. And I was just wondering if she's ever looked at these new LED bulbs. Because
she's the one that was on that. I think she was on the Animals at Home podcast a while back.
Yes.
And her talk was pretty interesting.
She's if I'm not mistaken, she's the one who did the research that the Arcadia company references on their packaging, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So
right.
She's legit.
Yeah, her opinion would hold the most water in my view. And I was just wondering if these newer, and not so much the LED and not LED, the incandescent and fluorescent, but these new LED bulbs have been through her scrutiny.
Yeah. that'd be a great question to ask her. The nice thing is nowadays we have the ability to literally go direct to manufacturer. We have the ability to get sample products in without buying the bulk that they really require. And we can try these things out. And we've been running them in the shop, and I've been running them on water monitors and all this other stuff. And it's amazing. But yeah, we're getting all sidetracked. But anyway, it's pretty cool, man. The revolution in reptile keeping is insane. I think the latest stats is that 1 in 20 households in America has a reptile nowadays. So I mean, just picture that. How many houses are on a block? 25, 40, depending on the size of your block. That means a couple houses are going to have reptiles. That means money's going into the hobby, which means, Yeah.
Her name is Frances Baines.
Frances
Baines.
Yeah.
And I'm not really that, like Riley. You sound like, like I'm not at all well versed in UVA, B, C, none of that. So I would feel really stupid talking to her because I wouldn't even know what to ask and I'm old school, I've never used it. I would like to use it if it was proven and whatnot, but in the same breath, man, I'd like to build some sunning cages out in my yard for the summer. So I'd just do that. If I was worried about it, that's what I'd do.
To me, I consider myself a simpleton as far as my comprehension of the UVB stuff. I'm around what I'm around, and I sponge up what I can, but otherwise it is still very much over my head. And when I go see Alan and he talks about what he's doing, the results speak for themselves, and his UVB usage is minimal to none. Your results speak for themselves. I don't think we can say one way or the other as far as the hobby is concerned. I think it's just one of those things where, if it's working, it's working. And until we know otherwise, don't judge. And so I'm all for it.
Yep.
Cool. All right.
Yep.
Wow, that got really intellectual.
Don't worry, it won't happen again. So,
sorry, I don't know what happened. I think somebody replaced these beers with water.
What the dear God?
Well, that reminds me back to way back in the day when I was doing naturalistic setups, and another guy who was a big guy, he was like cracking on me, like, because I would always say, I love building naturalistic enclosures. Of course, I got fake plants and stuff in there, but it is what it is. This guy would say to me, well, your monitor knows that that's a fake plant. And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, come on, dude. I know he knows it's a fake plant, and I hope he don't think that light bulb is the sun. So, I just don't think something like UVA and UVB, anything that's coming off of the sun, and my brain, I can't wrap my brain around that being imitated in a healthy way or however. I mean, I'm not saying it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Very dangerous. Very dangerous. There's this little window where like this is acceptable. Anything over here is like you might as well just not have it. Anything over here is like you might as well just give it cancer.
Right. So it sounds like quality control could be an issue in this area too.
Oh, 100%. I mean, like anything else, we're all subject to human error, and manufacturing 1 in 1,000 is going to have kind of a misstep or whatever it is, and that's just how it goes until you swing the pendulum into such a tight little array. It's pretty damn accurate, but I don't think we'll have a consensus on UVB usage within 20 years, even despite all these changes. I don't think anything will be settled. It'll just be, results speak for themselves, and you just
great. Another thing to argue about.
Yeah, cool.
I love it. Yeah, I know that's the problem. I think people are going to continue to argue about it. I think that's going to be the contentious topic for the next 5 years, easily.
Sounds like a Fight Club episode.
Yeah. That kept coming up. Yeah.
I think more research would really spice that episode up real well.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't there a Fight Club on UV?
They might have had them on about that.
I think so. Yeah, I think it was Zach and Ryan.
And Ryan was there. Yeah.
It was very. That was a brain tickler for sure. It was such a good one.
Yeah, definitely.
I like everything that was said was so valid and so good, but at the same time, you know, I don't know. There's several veins, right? There's what I see in person. There's what I experience from other people who bring it to me in the shop. There's what I see from other people's experiences, right? So, and then within that you split hairs of species, right? So there's no cut and dry anything. But I don't know. It's fascinating. We still don't know what the hell we're talking about.
Like I was thinking with these new LED type UVA and UVB lights, if I incorporated it like near a basking light and put it on a timer and only put it on for 15 minutes at a time, that's it for a whole day. I wouldn't be too worried about that, but just burning them all for hours on end. Think about sitting in the sun for hours on end,
Yeah. So, we always preach thermal gradients in enclosures for animals. And I think another thing people need to get on board with is if they plan on using UVB, UVA is a gradient for that as well.
Absolutely.
Putting a 4-foot UVB strip light on a 4-foot cage means that animal cannot get away from that without literally burying itself or going under a hide. And that's kind of a new concept for a lot of people. A lot of the enclosures we're running at the shop, we have a ceramic off to one side, so it's sort of like no light but plenty of warmth, and then the UVB LEDs off to the other side where the ambient's still good, but it is strictly for the light. And we'll watch these water monitors go back and forth all morning, and it is really cool. And then the bearded dragons will do it too, and it is really neat to see. But some species absolutely hate it.
Yeah. So if you're using those small spots, they at least they could go in or go out.
I think that's important.
Right. Yeah. Me too.
Yeah. I think as much as we want to say it's beneficial for them, I think it's equally, if not more beneficial for them to choose whether or not they seek it out or not. I think the fact that they in the wild aren't always just full spectrum sunning themselves is evidence enough. The canopy of trees, the mangroves, the rain, whatever it is, these animals are not sitting out under full spectrum sun. And even if they were, every day the output from the sun is different. Just go out every day, every couple hours with a solarimeter or whatever.
Right.
I think readings.
I think Riley and Mike should debate Ryan and Zach on UV lighting.
Yes, that'd be fun.
That'd be good.
Hey, you know what? I could only speak from the animal's point of view. I couldn't speak from what goes on inside the light bulb.
That's all right.
Because I don't know about that. I only know what my animals do. And so here's another thing that I wanted to say about that is if these companies, and I'm not naming anyone in particular, but these companies are selling a product. Okay. I would personally give it more validity if they said, Tokay geckos don't really need it, and this one does. But when they push it out there that, you need it, your animals need it, to me that's just somebody telling me something I don't, it's almost like they're forcing it on me, and I'm really a rebel, I guess, and I'm resistant to that.
Mike, your head is in the right place.
Yeah.
Your head is in the right place.
I think all this conversation reminds me, of Terry Phillip and the snow and the sort of the force of externalities. I know, Keith, you've looked into this quite a bit in terms of Boland's, in terms of regulating exposure relative to, limit it, essentially trying to evaluate what's actually present in the wild conditions. And I would point out, the whole conversation reminds me that more than two of every 3 Australians get skin cancer in their life, right? So what is that telling us relative to the animals and their exposure and their limitations and all these?
They should have grew some of them. They should have grew some of them prisms on their skin like the kingorums.
What's interesting? One of the biggest things that I've learned is that yeah, I don't, like you said, Mike, I don't know the ins and outs of the manufacturing process and how they make the bulbs and this and that. But what I have learned over the last 6 months is that every single piece of equipment is up for debate. The heat tape, the heat pad, the wiring, the connections, the housing, the literally everything. It can be modified. You can ask for all the specifics. And one of the biggest fears I feel that people perceive from new companies putting out UVB bulbs and things like that is this overhyped concern about UVC. Have you heard about, like, is when you hear UVC, does it conjure up all these like conversations of careful, don't get these ones, UVC, it's all dangerous, like you don't know. The problem with that is the diodes that put out UVC, they're like twice as expensive as all the other diodes. So manufacturer's not going to give you that for free.
Right.
Why would they? They're going to lose their ass. There goes their whole profit margin. If a bulb costs them $2 or less and they throw a 50-cent diode in there that you don't want, that is medical grade sterilization. I have a card that I carry in my wallet. I can put under every single light bulb and tell you if it puts out UV in general and UVC specifically. And the biggest concern with this new push and the LED stuff is that it puts out UVC, and that's just garbage.
Yeah, I get that's garbage, but here we go back to manufacturer error or whatnot. I mean, Mondays and Fridays, you don't want to buy a car bought, built on Monday or Friday, right? Well, I mean, can you imagine? I'm sure there's not a diode factory that doesn't have UVC diodes in them. I mean, not only that, I mean, I think about me. I got 8 kids. If I worked in a rubber factory, I'd be poking a fucking pin through all of them rubbers I was putting in a box. Just because I'm an idiot. So, yeah, I'm just saying, there's just that chance to me, it's I guess it could be anything too. And like Rob said, man, I hope you guys wear sunscreen when you're out there in Australia, because those were some high numbers, bro.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. That's scary stuff, man.
Mm-hmm. We know very little.
My question is going to be: we got to get back on track here. Off the track. We got questions. We gotta finish this up. We'll leave that to the Fight Club. I'm telling you, you two go on the Fight Club, fight it out. Okay. So, what's your biggest takeaway? So, my biggest takeaway from 2021 is to sort of keep my collection in a point where it's more manageable, so I can see the animals, because what I've learned about myself is that although I love to be a breeder and I love breeding animals, and that's all great and good, and I love seeing babies pip out of eggs, what I'm more excited about, this is probably field herping, putting a little bit of, I don't know, influence on me, is that and Keith too. Keith is a big influence on this as well, but the observation of the animals. I think when, again, I go back to that Australia trip in 2019, where, Keith is just talking about trying to find out how we're going to find this Owen Pelly python, and we're going to find it, but where would it be? And the conversations that we had just were like some of the greatest conversations I had about reptiles ever in my life. And I think that inspired, it's sort of, not that I don't like morphs or anything. I'm not anti-morph, and it's not, but that whole idea of trying to chase this thing to make this combo or whatever, I think I sort of just got sidetracked with that. And what I love about what happened to me this past year is that it became more in focus, to where, to Nipper's point, and Nipper was an influence on this as well, as I would much rather observe the animals, because that's what I sort of have them for, right? I sort of have them to sort of have this window into wherever they're from, and I can remember the trip that we had to the Northern Territory or the Queensland or West Texas or wherever, wherever it takes us next. So not to be worried about having one of each of this or every single of that, and sort of focusing and appreciating what I have. I got so caught up in the chase of trying to get the next thing that I didn't take the step back to sort of appreciate what I already have.
Derek, that's my motto anymore. It's see the species through the morph.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. So that's my takeaway from 2021. I don't know. What do you got? Riley, you want to go next? Or Keith, you want to go next since you were there? What do you got?
Take away from? I don't really have anything on that, but I have a couple grievances if you want to go back to that.
Go for it. Yeah.
This will be fantastic. Yes.
All right. One of them is stop buying the freaking animals before you do your research.
Thank you.
Don't have the animal in your hands and say, guys, I just picked up this emerald tree boa. How do I take care of it? I just picked up this crocodile monitor. How do I take care of it? That kind of stuff drives me nuts. I don't know why people continue to do that. Half the fun for me is researching different species and figuring out what will work for me in my conditions and my setups and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? People seem to want to just buy and then try to figure it out later. So that's one grievance. Another one is top hats and scarves are not for snakes.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
amen.
Thank you.
These things evolved over eons to not have to wear top hats and scarves. Don't put them on your animals. They don't enjoy it. And they look stupid.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
That's another grievance. And if you scroll through TikTok, I'm sorry to admit it, that damn shit's got me addicted. I'll sit there for a freaking hour at night scrolling, and I send you guys the cool shit. But I am so sick of people showing how they killed a snake and how it made them so tough and strong because they killed a snake. I thought we were way past that. I thought we were way more educated than that. And I can't believe there's still that many people out there that think it's a cool thing to kill a snake and then show off how you killed the snake.
Yeah.
Drives me nuts. Those are my three.
Okay. I do like your TikTok videos on music that you send me, Keith.
I find some good ones there for you.
Yeah. So very cool. All right, Riley, what about you? What's your takeaway? 2021.
My biggest takeaway is there's all sorts of highs and lows, but you got to dust yourself off and get right back on that horse. And if your goal is to keep these animals and do it well and learn and maybe breed along the side, you gotta take a few on the chin and be prepared to get right back up. Don't stop, don't quit. Keep putting one foot in front of the other and just keep going. Just keep taking them on the chin and keep getting back up. And that's it.
Okay. Owen?
I would say if you're not enjoying your animals, you're doing it wrong. So if
I saw somebody post. I saw somebody post the other day because they've been trying to get some carpet python and it didn't go as planned, and they had a couple. Dude, I've been trying to breed Bolins since 2013. Every year, I'm still as excited trying to, get it done. It's the animals, like that goal. I don't know. For me, just trying to get there is half the fun, all the fun. If I never get there, I'm still going to enjoy having these Bolins in my collection.
Yeah,
absolutely.
If you aren't enjoying your collection, if you're not having fun, you're doing reptiles wrong, and you should just bail.
Exactly.
So everything else, the breeding, the shows, all that's icing on the cake. So if you can enjoy your collection, what the hell are you doing here? None of us are going to be multimillionaires off this crap. Come on. So enjoy it.
Okay. Rob, what's your takeaway?
I have two. The first is just the reiteration of take trips wherever that is, whether it's to go see your buddies or go to a carpet fest or go field herping. That's a really good one. Or going to see your buddies and then all going field herping. That works great too. The Timbers love us.
One stone. Oh yeah.
The PA Timbers love us. Delaware Copperhead. Sorry, Owen. We'll get there eventually.
When you guys go places, you find all the copperheads without me. Like if you guys want a copperhead, I can't be there. That's what happens.
Well, we've already seen them, so I think they'll still come out. It'll actually work. And the other bit is, I know a lot of us have this sort of collection or collecting mentality. I think the thing to do is to make sure that we find time to read books, so that falls into the books, right? We can collect these books. I think it's important to make the time to read those books so that we actually have the knowledge and gain that access. Because I know all of us have probably, more books than, we try and, make that a point of emphasis, but just the time that it takes to actually do that. If we just read the books that we have, it'd probably take us more time than we have. So to just try and do the best we can to actually read those books.
Yeah, I got several back there.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at all those books that I haven't read yet.
Yeah, I just got the Stolen World because I'd never had that one, and
it's a super fun one.
And I want to get into it, but I'm like, God, I gotta finish the BOA first. So yeah,
right.
Yep.
What about you, Mike? Any takeaways from 2021 for you?
Yeah, I just. How about a pet peeve?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Okay, my pet peeve is when, again, hey, do you have any monitors for sale? No, my name is Mike's Monitors and I sell crickets. Come on. But the other thing is when people, like you all said, if you think you're going to make money with this, I mean, you're lucky to pay your light bills. My light bill is so expensive, and people say, "Oh, how can you charge that much for a lizard?" I'm like, if you're asking me how I could charge that much for a lizard, apparently you didn't get the setup yet. You didn't buy the lights. You didn't buy the cage. You didn't buy the substrate, and so that's people. They see what you got, and they want what you got. But I don't know why they just don't see none of the time in the equipment. And, and like you said, I mean, food alone, my food bill alone is huge. But takeaway from 2021 is, man, I'm so glad I met up with you guys because I really like doing these podcasts and talking with like-minded people. Because I talk to a lot of people that are, they need to be led down the right path, but talking with all you guys with so much experience in all kinds of fields and animals, that's very refreshing. So again, MPR.
Love it. I love it.
Awesome. Okay. So speaking of MPR, we're going to talk about our top 3 favorite shows of the year. I'm going to read mine off real quick here. And obviously number 1 for me was to be able to talk with Dr. Richard Ross. I mean, holy hell, man. Yeah. What else can I say? Mic drop. I mean, come on. My number 2 was Mike Stefani, having him on to school us on Monitor Talk. I thought that was an awesome show. I loved it. And my third one was Zach Loafman with Snake Digestion. I'm a total dork when it comes to this kind of stuff. And when you can actually have somebody that knows this, like has read the literature and knows it, and, and to come on and explain to some dummy like myself, it's priceless. It's just great. So they were my 3 of the year. Owen, we'll go with you next since you're the co-host. What do you say?
Goddamn right. I would say you took mine with Dr. Ross. So I'm gonna add another one. So because I had
3, buddy.
I know I had another one just in case. I had an extra just in case you took one.
We can be the same. I mean,
so first one would be breeding hounds with Shane, because that was like a brand new experience, and that was again talking about different things that we can do to try to get the snakes to become more comfortable and possibly breed, which is like where I got my whole tunnel thing going. I mean, I kind of already thought a little bit about with what Keith had going on with his bull and I, and then also having Shane have success with the hounds. I'm like, I got to do it. And then I've gotten my Timors are loving it. I got new cages getting delivered this weekend for my white lips, and I'm going to drill a bunch of holes and bridges in there for them too. So that one's good. Ron St. Pierre episode was hilariously awesome. And I love all those shows from those old guys who were like, this is how it was when I started. And it's crazy. So that was definitely that one, and then I had the Dr. Loafman one as well. So
that was a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna go to the podcast guru down there in the lower corner below you, Mr. Bob Rock, the Green Grinch there.
That's funny. Am I green again?
Yeah. You've been green. You've been on and off green all show. Yeah.
It's all right, Rob.
Very
We
good.
can hear you.
Yes.
Okay. So the first one, the most straightforward one that I have is the singular episode with Josh Hatton and Mark Green. So Josh and Greenie's Wild Aussie Adventures.
Right. Yeah. I like that.
Awesome
I
guys.
thought that was
Talk
fantastic.
about shitty, great YouTube channels. Check them out.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah.
Sorry.
100%. No, I 1,000% agree. Both the channel and the episode was fantastic. Next, I have some, trying to include as many episodes as possible because there's so much great content here. I had a combination of episodes that I called the Mikes. So Mike Stefani and Mike Pingleton.
Okay. Yeah.
And
That's a good
then the entire Herp history sequence of Ron St. Pierre, Dick Ross, Pete Kuhn, and Keith. Number one.
Yep. Like it.
Okay.
I like it.
Awesome. All good picks. I forgot. Yeah, I think Keith was the first one, right? He was
the first Herp
history
history.
guy.
Yeah.
That was the warm up.
You got to start with the best.
Warm up.
He was the fluffer.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys, I don't want to put you on the spot or whatever, but I don't know if there was an episode that stood out to you that you loved or whatever. But if not,
From
we
the
can move
season.
along or whatever.
Minus points, Riley.
Yeah,
You
go
should
ahead,
have
Keith.
tons.
Yeah, for me, Richard Ross, of course. I'll randomly get texts from him, and it blows me away because, reading his book and when all that back in the day, there was never a time I thought, we would know him the way we know him. So that's pretty cool. But Richard's was awesome.
Yeah.
Mike's was very awesome. I really like that. And I didn't think I was going to like it at first. I was talking to Rob and you guys today, but I really like that show today with Frank. I listened to that last episode that Rob and Owen did with Frank, and that was a really good show.
Yeah.
And then an honorable mention, I don't know if it was on NPR or what other thing, but that Mark O'Shea interview.
That was the Field Herping one, but yeah.
Field Herping one.
That counts.
That one just sticks out to me too. I know it's not, but that was a really good show.
Yeah, that's a whole different category, Keith.
I know.
Other podcasts.
Other
But no,
podcasts.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
That was good.
What about you, Mike? Datria? Is that your?
Yeah, Datria, and I like the Herp history too. I love listening to Ron. He goes so far back, and he's kind of like a peer with me. We're kind of in the same age group, and yeah, I just find that whole, I never would have thought of myself as like being a pioneer in any of this stuff. And yeah, I don't know. It's like when we were talking, Eric, on the podcast that me and you did when we, and Owen, when we did mine. And the way you guys were talking about me, and I've said this on that podcast, I never looked at myself like that. I'm just a freaking knucklehead from, Franklin Park, Illinois. And all these years later, putting in time and work, I guess, it's just what I do, but I guess it's a big deal. And yeah, it's pretty cool. But the Herp history is what I loved. Yeah.
Yeah. I never get over when people are like, well, they look at me and they're like, Owen knows what he's talking about. I'm like, no, I fucking don't. Like, it is,
yeah, me neither.
What the hell are you doing? Like, yeah, it's
I still feel that way. I just kind of, my animals, they're the pros, man. Like I said, I'm a janitor and a food monkey, and they just do what they do, man.
Yep, I like that one.
Yeah. I stole that saying. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
What about you, Riley?
My top three. It was, to be honest, to ask somebody to whittle it down to three is kind of shitty.
Sorry,
but it's fair. I understand. We can't be here all night. But not to beat a dead horse, but the standout episode for me all year was with Mike, hands down.
Wow.
Mike, I'm sorry, I don't mean to put you on the spot any more than you already have, but dude, your approach to reptile keeping is so refreshing and so enlightening.
Now who's fluffing?
And eyes open and just very much like eyes on the prize. The rest is nonsense. Like there's no disguising the genuine nature in it. And to me, hearing that in the interview format and everything just kind of solidified it. It was like, oh, I already know this guy is like top notch and he knows his shit. But like hearing it in interview format, I was like, well, hell, all right. I got another person to look up to because that was legit, man.
Wow, I'm honored. I appreciate that. I'm humbled by it because you guys, to me, are all great. I really appreciate that.
Oh, you deserve more than the accolades you receive, I'm sure. Yeah, you've inspired a lot of people. I've since been getting into some of the foam cutting and enclosure rebuilding and stuff like that, and I'm like every time I'm like, oh shit. I always think about some of your work, and it's really cool. And then the next two, not for any lesser qualities or qualifications, but the interview with Ron St. Pierre was an absolute gem of an episode. Just to sit there and go back and listen to it a couple times over and just digest everything was invaluable. And then on the other end of the spectrum, I was really, really impressed with Summer's interview that she did. Summer Grace Mitchell is she transcends a lot of different circles in the reptile hobby these days, and I think she does it with style, grace, professionalism, and she is another role model to be looked up to, not just by young women trying to get into the hobby, but by anybody in general who wants to take the reins on their life and their future and make it what it is. And I think she does that with spades. So I try to give her, the tip of my cap when I can, but obviously she's very humble and professional. She knows her stuff. So yeah.
Cool.
Very cool. I'm going to, I guess maybe, we have two more categories, or actually we have three more categories to hit on, and then we'll be done. But the next one would be your favorite podcast from somebody else besides MPR.
Are there other networks? What?
Yeah.
Well, and we can't just pick ourselves.
The hell I can't.
We can't vote for ourselves for president, sort of thing. So
the hell I can't. So
I'm just gonna say this in general. I probably the other podcast that I listen to consistently. So I have three that I'm gonna say. So outside of anything that we do, I really enjoy Snakes and Stogies because I really enjoy listening to Phil to sort of what what Nipper was talking about earlier. Phil's just a great guy. We herped with him in Texas. He's very knowledgeable, knows a lot about a lot, just a lot about a lot. Super nice guy, always super, pleasant, never. And the banter that he has between him and Justin, I think I get when people say that they like when me and Owen talk. And I think like, why?
Yeah, why?
Why? I don't understand it. But then I listen to like him and Phil talk, and I understand like it's sort of like you're hanging out with your buddies, having a conversation about reptiles, and you're sort of talking to the, if you're cleaning snakes or whatever, driving to work, and I'm listening to the podcast, I just sort of, I'll feel like I'm talking with them, like, oh yeah, that's, you know what I mean? I don't know if you guys do that when you're listening to podcasts, but I do quite a bit. The next one would be talking with Mark O'Shea on the Rough Scale Expedition. I mean,
yeah, that's hard
I
to
am
beat.
just humbled to be able to even talk to him, and the fact that happened, and then he's messaging, to your point, Keith, like when Mark O'Shea is messaging you, you're sort of like, what the hell happened in my life to get me here? Yeah. I'm just a dummy that started a podcast 10 years ago, and here we are. But to hear the story from the mouth himself,
right?
To me is that's just a piece of history that will forever be there. So when I'm long gone, hopefully people will be able to listen back to that and hear what that expedition took in order to get those snakes in our snake rooms, if you will,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that was it. Yeah. Okay. Oh, no, I know Rob's probably gonna. Well, never mind. I'm not gonna say Rob's gonna do anything. But
okay.
I quite enjoyed because I'm a carpet python geek, and the Reptile Fight Club that they did on carpet python taxonomy. Although I'm not really a taxonomy type person, I don't really care that much about taxonomy per se. But I just enjoy listening to other people talk about carpet pythons. I will say today I listened to Darren Whitaker on the Australian Herp podcast, and I quite enjoyed that as well. So I think it's just, if you're talking carpet pythons, you got me. So, all right, that's my 3. Riley, you're next. Let's go.
Yep. So which one are we on? Favorite?
This is just a podcast other than NPR.
When I do have time to like sit and like plug in headphones or just put on speaker and actually hear it, if I haven't caught up on anything in Our Network or THP, the other show I really like is Snake Talk.
Okay.
It's hosted by the director of the Orient Society, and on August 27th they had Carl Caulfield on. And the episode was Carl Caulfield, snake hunting, and the Caulfield letters with Gary Williamson.
Right, they had Gary on to talk about his relationship with Carl. Carl's been dead.
Yeah, holy shit! You wanna put herp history in the form of a pie, take a slice of it, and then eat it and ingest it. It's that episode. It was unreal. I sat here. And like normally in my cleaning routine, I'll just throw something on, and it's not necessarily white noise because I am digesting it, listening to it. But I was going through, and I just stopped and I just sat down and I was like, "This is stupid. I have to not do anything and listen to this right now." It was just nuts. It was a really good episode. I mean, they've had some fantastic episodes, and the way they do that is very professional and well formatted. And they've had Jeff Corwin on and a lot of other great episodes since then. But that one was a standout for sure.
Very cool. Owen, what say you?
Well,
hold on before you go, Riley. That is a great the Gary Williamson book. That is a fantastic book too.
Oh man.
Yeah. So yeah, I totally agree with you about the episode, the book, all that stuff. I just wanted to highlight that it wasn't with Carl. That'd be
Everyone
something.
needs to go listen to that episode for sure.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
I would say that I just recently started listening to Rob's last turn on the Herp Network podcast. So that's the one I'm currently listening to, and I'm enjoying it thoroughly because there's a lot of talk with rhinos so and other things like that. So that's the current one. I don't, like I've told you, I end up listening to books and stuff more than I do Reptile podcast, but I will check out one that any one of my compatriots are on. So like I heard we listened to Eric's in Arizona when he was on was that Nicks and Stogies? Yeah. So
okay.
Yep.
That's okay. You do you, boo. Whatever you want to listen to her podcast, you do you, boo. Whatever.
Hey, I don't need to listen to a Herp podcast. I'm on
That's
one.
fine. You're on
I'm
one.
on several. Yeah.
Like what I'm saying. You do you, boo. Whatever. Mr. Bob Rock.
Okay, so obviously, goes without saying that all the THP content I really enjoy. I'm with you. Snakes and Stogies stuff is fantastic. Just the relation, we met Jake at your house, or I met Jake at your house, and then the relationship just with Phil and Justin from going herping with them. I know, this probably won't make the cut in terms of the questions or whatever, but personal highlights for me were both the U.S. trips that we did, in terms of the Texas stuff and the Arizona trip as well. So, and they both had their awesome parts, both in terms of
Mm.
animals and the experience of doing it and the different groups of folks that were on there. But yeah, so Justin and Phil and Jake as well are all, super important to me. So I would highlight that, but that wasn't what I highlighted here, just because there's so much great content. I stuck to NPR network shows that are not NPR. So for the Aussie Herp, I thought let's see, there were a whole handful, but it was both Matt Somerville's, but particularly that first one in terms of being really field herp focused, and they just gone to FNQ and seen green pythons and all that stuff. That fantastic video they did. The Ross McGibbon show was fantastic. Jake Menny was fantastic. Luke was fantastic. And the one that, that's just, pump it straight into my vein, right? Sort of Aussie field herb talk. But the one that was most interesting, because it was something that has, an NPR show and also a Chondrocast show, but this was different, was Dan Natouche when he was talking to the Aussies. There was just a different vibe, man. And that show came off in a way that we couldn't pull off here on NPR, and that the Chondrocast couldn't quite pull off in terms of he was his, Dan is always awesome, but he was his best self in that show with them, I think in the context of them internally incubating chondros at the time and all this stuff. But that was really a special show.
That was a good one. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. For the Fight Club. And so I didn't highlight Carpets and Coffee and those sorts of non guest based shows, but Fight Club, I really like the Frank Payne one. I thought that was fantastic. Frank has a ton of experience, super interesting dude. I really like that a lot. Field herping, Mark O'Shea, no doubt. And Colubrid and Colubroid, Rob Shea was on there talking about Natricine snakes, so principally garter snakes, but also water snakes and a whole host of other things that he's working with. But if you haven't listened, that's a show that I would listen to, because I think that's definitely something where we underrate those species because of sort of our perception of their commonality or how much exposure we have to them. But they're really cool and interesting snakes.
Cool. All right. What about you guys? Any podcasts that you're listening to, Mike?
Yeah, he's a personal friend. He's local, and his show is just coming up, but it's called Lizard Brain Radio.
Nice.
Yeah.
Bill Bradley. I love his style of interviewing, and of course I'm a lizard guy, so I get to listen about lizards. But just recently, I've regressed from my monitor point of view. I'm getting back into Drymarchon, and in getting back into the I love them. Yeah, but like Rob had said, I'm a big fan of garter snakes. I'm a big fan of like coach whips and racers and Drymarchon. So I'm kind of like falling back into that area of snakes. Of course, I can't have too much of it because, Drymarchons are like monitors minus the heat, If you keep them right, you could feed them multiple times a week. If you know what you're doing.
Weather monitors without legs, dude.
There you go. And man, in regressing, I throw up the quote signs. I'm going on Morph Market and I'm looking at the other colubrids, and man, I seen some guy had a pair of speckled racers. So now I'm going mad doing speckled racer research, and so yeah, I like the Lizard Brain podcast, number one, but number two, now that I'm getting back into colubrids. I got to start hitting up some of these things that you said, Rob, the garter snake guy and whatnot, because I just love those animals.
100%. Yeah, that's awesome. And Bill's thing is fantastic. I should have included, I was envisioning that as part of the THP bit. It's fantastic.
Right. He just recently made that jump.
Yeah.
To join up with them. Yeah. And
Right.
he just had on Joe Hupp, and that episode was fantastic.
Oh man, yes. What a wealth of knowledge there, man.
Yeah.
Mike, I have my pair of blacktails together right now up here they've been there since 10 a.m. and so all show I've been like looking up and like using my phone as a mirror and like checking on when I hear noise and shit going on in there. Dude, this is the longest I've left them together since they tried to eat each other last year, and I'm just like,
right.
I love
Have you been getting any locks, Riley?
I'm getting all sorts of swelling and a progression of interest or lack of disinterest from the female, and I see this progression, and the male's kind of just. I'm hitting 66 degrees in here at night and 70 during the day, so the male's like an ice cube slowly melting. So you know he's doing his thing, he's being respectful, but we're a few days later from last year. Last year I already had a confirmed lock at this point, so that's why I'm being a little more persistent, but at the same time I'm so gun shy right now.
Weather's a little weird this year.
Yeah, we've been getting some good rain finally right now, which has been nice. But, dude, after having to rip her head out of his head, I was like,
oh, man. Good
I
thing
love
you
how
caught him.
Riley's like that. And I'm like, my unicolors have been together for about a week now. And I'm like, yeah, you guys are
This
fine.
is the first time I've left them
I don't see
together and like
blood.
left the house.
Yeah. Oh, I chucked them together and then they just have been together. So
their intros have been 5 to 10 minutes. And then I'm like, all right, you're done.
Yeah.
I'm so gun shy, dude. It's not healthy for me. It's stressful, dude.
You should get rid of them. Send them here.
I like Mike. I like Mike how you're getting into snakes. See, we're balancing each other out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you. Hey, you know what? Now that I think about it, Eric, you're the guy who made me regress.
There you go.
See, Mike, what you don't know about Eric is he's one of those sleeper broker / like tick infestations, and I've developed my skill of this intentionally. Eric just has a natural gift for it. He's one of those natural guys that just exudes enthusiasm. I've found a way to like willingly get people to give me their wallets and buy shit for them. The problem is, and unfortunately Nipper left, but I wanted to also chime in as well as what Nipper was saying is the rubbing off of the Australian gecko stuff, man. It's bad.
I just plant little seeds. You know what I mean?
I've been
I'm like
doing
I've been
doing like gecko builds at the shop and like building foam and like doing all sorts of cool textured rock work and fun stuff, and my friend locally is getting into all sorts of cool Aussie geckos and diamonds and this and that, and I've always held Stropharis tenicata as like the holy grail of the Stropharis, and they're like $400, and I know where to go get them. I'm like, this is a problem.
You gotta control yourself.
Well, so the beautiful thing is, I have a wedding coming up, so I have 100% control and no control at the same time. In that,
there you go.
All my money needs to go that way, otherwise I will be on the street. So,
well, my condolences to you. You too, Owen.
Thank you.
Hey, misery loves company, bro.
That is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I can't crack on my wife too bad.
I can't either.
I can't.
Yeah.
She puts up with my bullshit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my bedroom is right above my head, and I know she's listening to me. So,
well, the bottom line is all of our better halves all put up with this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So they are better halves for sure.
I'll drink to that.
Yep.
What about you, Keith? Any other podcasts you listen to that?
I really don't have too much time except for MPR. Like when I get a chance, that's what I listen to. But like I said before, Mark O'Shea's episode, that was, really, really good for me. And the other one that comes to mind is I love Justin and Scott going at it on the Fight Club. That was a great show.
Oh yeah.
That was a great show.
Okay.
And then, I also wanted to show Rob. I've been leaning on this all night.
Oh, his pillowcase, yeah.
Oh,
or the
yes.
wow,
cool.
Tiffany made that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's like my favorite thing. Like I Dory wants
mine is
things to match, and I'm like, no, I'm sleeping on the Aussie pillow tonight.
Mine is hung up next to the rough scale pythons in a place of honor.
Some cool Aboriginal art there.
Yeah,
that's rad.
Yeah. All right, the last thing we're going to hit on is the favorite reptile book of 2021. Even though my book was not released in 2021, The Keeping and Breeding of Australian Lizards is the one for me. I mean, that to me was just kind of like that, but
Similar.
the big thick book, Once you start going down that rabbit hole, and you got the geckos in there, and you got the skinks in there, and of course you got the favorite of the bunch is the monitors. It's got so much information in there and data, and it's just a great book. I love the Keeping and Breeding Australian Pythons, and this is just the lizard version of that. So
cool.
That was my favorite.
Yep.
What about you, Riley?
For me, it's this guy.
Lizards of Australia.
Yeah, Scott and Ty Iper. Gotta give them some love. This is the second book of theirs I have. I need the other two. I should have been wiser and just done the whole set in one shipment and saved myself the shipping grief. But you know what? Credits due where credits due. They do some good work. So hats off to them.
Awesome.
Cool.
Very cool. Owen?
Mine was definitely not written this year, but this is
finally
a gift.
Nice.
A gift
well
from
done.
my good friend Brian Waterloo, who heard me bitching on the podcast about how I didn't have this. And he's like, I have it. It's collecting dust in my basement. Do you want it? And I'm like, how much? He goes, I answer the question, do you want it? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, I'm sending it to you. So I got.
So that's all I got to do, Owen. Finally. Now that you're done bitching about it, can I start bitching about it?
Yeah, apparently that works. So
all right.
I have been dying for this book, and I have already read it cover to cover several times. And
great.
Even though it's an older book, it just the wealth of information of this is where all this shit starts. So I did things and I was taught things based on this book of how to take care of carpet pythons. I didn't know it was based on this book, but yeah. So it's great, and I'm gonna get buried with this thing. I mean, come on now, it's great. So
yeah.
Love it.
I spent $300 for mine, and you got it.
Yeah. Well,
all right.
We had to get a 10-year podcast for mine.
Right.
So
very cool. All right. Bob Rock, what do you got?
I have the home invasion defense mechanism, Snakes of Arizona. That's,
throw that and kill somebody.
Right. About 825 pages or so. It would definitely do some damage if you got hit with that. It's an awesome book relative to the trips, and even just in and of itself, there's a ton of, I don't know, the field herping stuff is always very interesting because people become, and understandably so, right? I know Justin on the Fight Club has talked about this, that birders, right, they're far less defensive about their spots because the birds fly away. People don't catch them to look at them, right?
Right.
For the most part. I suppose there are probably exceptions to everything, but generally speaking, that's the case. So it's always interesting then when we have the more formal something is, for the most part, there are some new species exceptions and things like that in terms of papers, but you're looking at something like this Snakes of Arizona book, and there's even for each species a sort of narrative discussion on, quote, questionable localities, right? Getting into that level of granularity where there's things that are historically presented as being true, but really probably don't make a ton of sense, particularly relative to the modern context. It's just a ton of information, and I do think it's incredibly valuable in terms of discussion of, again, it's half the fun of field herping is to try and to understand the animal, to figure out where you should go and where you should be looking. Keith with Owen Pelly pythons, right? That you want to be looking at it in terms of, okay, what's the context of present? We know we're in, the spot where 35 to 40% of the recorded sightings have been. but what are we doing in that context? What's our search image, and where is it that we need to be looking to find that? And we've gotten that feedback from other people and whatever, but coming to understand it ourselves, I think, is so much more meaningful. And a lot of formal literature does that in a way that people are afraid to online, on social media. And I both understand that, and then sometimes that can be a little silly, where it's like people won't even say where they were going or what species they were looking for, because that would, quote, give away the species. And that's comical, because there's doubtless published literature that gives away so much more than anything you could say in 30 seconds.
That's ego.
Yep, it is.
Okay, Mike, any books? Dry Marcon book did you get this year, or
No, I'm not much of a book reader. I mean, all the books that I've read on monitors, they're the old Daniel Bennett's and Matt Vincent, Steve Wilson's. But yeah, I'm not a big reader of books, and I go to sleep at like 7 o'clock at night. So I'm like, I'm not much of a reader, but I have been talking to Bob Ashley, thinking about putting a book together myself.
That'd be cool.
That
would be cool.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes, you have everyone's support here. Please.
Yeah. I definitely need some guidance, though, because like you had said before, I'm not much of an academic kind of guy. It's all like, I don't know, experience.
Put your thoughts on paper, bro. Go zero draft. Verbally vomit some shit on paper. Just start it.
Yeah, exactly.
One in front of the other.
But the thing is, see, like that I think about with a book, it would be just, and I don't even know what kind of a genre this would be other than reptiles, but like I document all my data, breeding and everything, and my egg count and hatch rate and all that stuff. But as far as like my husbandry practices, that's just based on my, what I do. So
right,
perfect.
I definitely need some guidance with it, and hopefully I can get it done.
You got people that want to prepay for the book.
We got you.
Okay,
Mike.
I'm sure the book is like the monitor business. I'm not going to make a fortune with it.
Dude,
No.
you can hire
Might be surprised.
editors. Yeah.
But you know what? If it could help somebody, get into this or do better with it, then that's what it's all about, really.
Yeah. It is.
Well, then I think that we need to make that happen.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try.
I'm pretty sure Ego Publishers doesn't have a monitor book on their roster.
I don't think so.
Especially not something written by Mike Stefani.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I've just actually talked to Bob a little bit today, but so we'll see what happens. Hopefully I can do it,
Okay.
Hey, you need an editor. You let me know.
I don't read books. I don't read books. I write them.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Like I'm saying, you guys need an editor, second set of eyes. You let me know. I scrutinize the shit out of stuff like that. My stepmom was an English major from UCLA, and she literally like grilled the shit out of me as far as how to write and edit and all that stuff, do with my college applications, and that she like, I'll never forget that stuff. So to me, that is a source of pride. I really have that eye for the detail for it. So you guys ever start putting together manuscripts and writing that up, and you want a second set of eyes on stuff, you don't hesitate to ask.
I'm 25 pages in on mine.
Nice.
Excellent.
Let me know. Keith, I got you.
I was about to say I have Keith's book right here that I was supposed to send him. So
Keith.
I already know Keith's answer. It's this book that's still at Owen's. So
Keith, you let me know. I would happily lend some eyesight to that. 100%.
I'm gonna drop that in the mail tomorrow because
What book is
I'm on that. That's the oh god damn it. It's the Shine book. The one I had an extra copy of.
Oh, the Australian snake.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Very cool.
He'll get it, and then he breeds Bolinai, and then I take credit because I gave him the book that gave him the inspiration to breed the Bolinai. So
very cool.
Yeah. That's what
you got a favorite book of the year, Keith?
Well, the books that mean the most to me this year because of what I went through was what people sent me. So during recovery, I could keep my mind busy.
Yeah.
You had sent me that book, Eric. That meant a lot to me. Craig Trumbauer sent me his books.
Nice.
Scott and Ty sent me their books. And Chris, our friend Chris, he sent me a book too. And all those books mean the most to me. I got them for the reason I got them. But I picked up at Bob Ashley's place. I picked up a book on leaf-tail geckos, and
nice.
I'm going through that, and that's freaking awesome. I'm really enjoying that book. The name escapes me at the moment, but I saw it at Bob's place, and I was like, man, I need to get this and just check this out. So I'm reading that right now.
You're gonna take Keith away from me too and drag him into this lizard gecko bullshit you got going on.
That's all right. You're almost there. Or when you got Drymark, you got unicolors, man. You're almost there.
He used to have monitors at his house.
Oh, and what happened? You regressed. You had mangroves, and now
I had mangroves. I was hatching mangroves at one point.
Good job.
Yeah.
And just ease back into it with Strophris. You'll be good.
I mean, no, maybe no.
Yes, I got you, Owen.
Yeah. Well, no,
I got to say, I really like those. Oh, go on.
I was going to say I'm going to breed Kimberly Rocks and gift them as Christmas presents next year.
Yeah, that's what he'll do. Yeah,
one for you, Owen. One for you, Rob, and one for you, Keith. And Riley, you get one too.
I was going to say, I really love when Owen goes off and has those little conversations with himself. He's trying to convince himself. No. It's
Mike, when he's having that conversation, it's already too late.
Yeah. You see me at reptile shows. People think they must think I have schizophrenia because I'm like,
Owen,
we can do that.
Owen thinks he fights my influence, but eventually he succumbs.
I'm a tiny little boat in the river. Yeah, it doesn't go well.
You can't hold out.
Yep.
Oh.
So I guess we will close it. I guess I get a bit corny for a minute, but I never thought. I say this all the time, but here was this idea about doing a podcast about carpet pythons, 10 years ago. And it led me to all you great people that, do this labor of love with me and help me through it, inspire me to keep pushing through when, sometimes you don't feel like doing it, or, maybe I bit off more than I could chew. But I think, I'm just passionate about getting the people that should be in the spotlight and sharing their experiences. And I don't know. I don't know, but it's been a great year. And I look forward to, more trips. I want to head out there, Mike, to see your setup one day. I mean,
anytime,
see what you have going on. And, and Riley, we're heading out I think California this year to come out to your side of things. And
I hear April, spring. Y'all are doing a spring trip. There. Sign me up, dude. Yeah. I'll be there.
I don't know, man. So thank you, Owen, for putting up for me with 10 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's been a ride, and I would not have changed a single moment. And also, it's one of those things where it's like I still don't understand why people want to sit down and listen to the two of us bullshit about reptiles for 10 fucking years. And you know what? I'm going to be saying this at the end of the next 11 year. God damn. But
I appreciate. Oh, sorry.
It's been fun. It's been fun, and I'm just I definitely want to wish everybody who's listening, whether you listen to it live, whether you were listening to it live, because this is a show now that's been going on for 3 goddamn hours.
Yes.
If you were listening live and you dropped off, we totally understand. If you're catching up on it later on, happy holidays. Enjoy this time with your friends and your family. If you don't have friends or family, just enjoy the time. Enjoy this little bit of a moment before we get into the new year, because everybody's kind of hoping that the new year is going to be a little bit better than last year, and a little bit better than last year, and it has that potential. So we thank everybody for coming along with us on this ride, and we'll catch everybody next time for some more Morelia Python Radio, because it's one of those, we're never going to go away, apparently. So it's
apparently not
going.
We're going to make sure that happens.
Keep going. Yeah. Apparently, we will be a constant
you almost had
in your
wish
life
over the past couple of months.
I
almost took me
he's
out.
almost
Damn
dead.
it.
He's almost dead. Like, yeah, but no.
Don't forget, y'all have interns. You can't get rid of us that easy.
Please, we own you.
But,
anyway, so
it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Y'all kick the bucket. Legacy lives on. That's what's
right.
up.
That's what's up.
Yep. So anybody else?
Happy holidays.
Yep.
Anybody else?
Anybody else
Chuck
got anything?
Merry Christmas to you guys. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
And
You're the man, Mike.
Hopefully
Thanks,
we'll catch up with everybody soon
Yep.
in person. And I got nothing else. Anybody else got anything?
Nah, love, peace, and chicken grease, y'all.
Love it.
Yeah.
Keith,
Take care, everybody. Have a good holiday.
love it. Mr. Stone.
All good. Happy holidays. Congratulations to you too.
Cool. All right. Thanks, everybody. And we'll catch everybody back for some more
January.
Morelia Python Radio in 2022.
Very good. We are out.